Oh, and just by
That's
the
how
way,
my
I have
stuff
no
ends.
idea what an ood is.
Oh, it's a Doctor Who thing. I'll send you a picture
Oh.
later.
Yeah, I
Okay.
suddenly feel the urge to Google it and show you because they're super cool. But anyway,
Oh,
welcome
those
back,
those
guys.
guys. Yeah, I remember those guys. I remember those
So-
guys.
Last time on Dragon Heist, no dragons were heisted, but problems were had.
Last time on Dragon Heist Z.
You got your tavern running. Effectively, too. You completely surpassed Emic Froon's challenge in getting more business than him on opening night. And tired and exhausted, you retired to your room, in the common room itself, as people cleared out and you found you'd made a bunch of money, waking the next day to a bit of a strange sight. As you all gathered in the common room, you noticed that Renair was coming down the street towards your tavern with a small gnome, man with slicked back hair and fine clothes. He was about halfway to your door when an enormous fireball erupted right outside, shattering the front facade of your building, wrecking all of your hard work, and exploding in the center of Trollskull Alley amongst crowds of passers-by. It was not early in the morning. The streets were fairly crowded. There were casualties. And now you stand looking out the wrecked, ruined front of your building at the scorched marks on the ground. The gnome is completely charred black. People wander at the perimeter of the explosion, looking on as ash falls like summer snow. And you count about 11 scorched bodies, but perhaps there were more that now are formless. Among them, the pursuers of the gnome as well lay dead, and you can see that several of them wear black tattoos on their hands and necks, snakes. Nearby, you see the body of your neighbor, Tally Fellbranch, slumped and scorched over the top of a piece of woodcraft that he had been carrying. It looks like it's a sign, but his body obscures most of what's written on it, and its beautiful elven intricacies have been lost to the flames. His natural brown hair is mostly burned away now, and his normally pleasant smile has been replaced by a mask of terror, his final expression locked permanently on his lifeless face.
No! My face!
As well, the body of Renair Nevrember lies smoldering near Trollskull's scorched front door. His rapier drawn in desperation sits in the ash nearby. His limbs lay akimbo beneath him. One hand seems to be wrapped tightly around a crumpled piece of parchment, but you can see little more of the man that once was.
Sorry, this was Renair?
Renair has been destroyed by this fireball. In the skies above, Griffin Riders circle the pillar of smoke now rising out of the alleyway. They're keeping watch for further trouble. You can see that guards close in. They're approaching quickly, and you're sure that magisters are soon to follow. But for the moment, however, you'd stand amidst the undisturbed carnage of the crime scene. People screaming, crying, and looking on in wonder and fear around you.
Sax is sipping a cup of coffee. Everything is fine.
Okay, sorry, kind of meta, but did we get a short rest or a long rest in between this?
Yeah,
was
you
this
guys
in
all
the
got a
morning?
long rest. Yeah.
Okay.
Are those bird shadows just flavor on the map? Have they always been
He said Griffin Riders.
Yeah, so those are the Griffin
Mhm.
Riders. They're kind of like helicopters.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're
Yeah.
the helicopters of this crime scene. They're circling above to keep watch for trouble.
Okay.
There appears to be one survivor of the carnage here. A man whose normally what you could see would be noble hair is kind of like askew off to one side. It's gray silver, and you can see a slight scar down the right side of his face. He's wearing black finery. He is very slowly pulling himself out of a pile of ash and dusting himself off. You can see scorch marks and broken wood where he presumably ducked down to avoid the brunt of them. A woman screams and babbles incoherently to the north of you, where people are gathering around her. Servants, it looks like. Several people are gathering to the south that you know as well. Fala and Embrick and his husband Avi. Emic looks on from the corner of this fence over here, arms crossed, and even his fat mouth is now agape to see everything that's transpired this morning.
So, off topic, kind of on topic. We get Renere's cool sword?
Yeah, you can pick it up.
Probably. It may or may not be magical, I have no idea. But really, that's not something Sax cares about.
Malarai goes right to Renere and checks to see if the note he was holding is salvageable.
Yeah, so it's clutched tightly in his leather gauntlet, and you can see that the ends of it are frayed and burned. It has been damaged somewhat, but it's mostly oh my god, I can't talk. It's mostly legible.
Malarai quickly pockets it into his little haversack purse.
Okay. His arm goes limp as it falls down.
Is that Tally right there?
Yeah, that's Tally.
I'm gonna see if he's actually dead. Attempt to. I mean, he might just be fucking dead, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna make my rounds and just, like, look for survivors as well.
Both of you make me a medicine check.
Malarai will do that as well after he finishes grabbing the note.
10.
From what you can tell, he's not breathing, and he's got massive scorch marks over half of his head and his face and his body. It's been burned through down to his skin. You see no signs of life.
If his eyes are open, I'm gonna do that, like, thing where you close them.
As Gazra walks, you hear one fellow kind of like cough his last breath as he just kind of like weakly lifts his hands up to the air. And by the time you go over to him, he's just collapsed, limp and lifeless. One of these snake-tattooed men that you can probably identify as Zentarum.
Which direction did the fireball come from? I'm gonna keep an eye out.
So, of all of you who are awake that morning, only Sax remembers seeing that on the western roof, there was a bright orange glow, and he watched as the fireball was cast from that location into the alley below. Kind of like somewhere in there.
There's no sign of anyone anymore?
You can make a perception check. No, you see no trace of anyone who could have perpetrated this crime unless they're here amongst you.
Okay, I want to, like, scan the faces in the crowd and see if everyone's as shocked as we are, or if there's someone who is, like, faking.
Okay, make an insight check.
Haha!
Everyone appears to be as shocked as you are.
Malarai wants to... can we see which of these bodies are those of Zentarum?
You can more or less make them out. They have ruined weapons and leather armor, and they're wearing like black cloaks. You can see that they've got tattoos like on their hands or the sides of their face, or just visible at the lines of their neck in the usual spots where they would be marked.
I'm gonna examine those little shits.
Yeah,
See if they have anything of note on their person, anything that could reveal anything about this story, about what happened here.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Ooh! Fuck yes!
Hell yeah.
So turning them over, you find 23 gold in purses as you empty them out, but it doesn't look like any of them have missives or messages of any kind.
23 gold?
23 gold.
Alright, well, they don't need that anymore, and they sure as hell don't deserve it anymore.
Did you read the message you got from Renee, or did you just pocket it?
I pocketed it just so... because I don't want to take it out while the authorities are here, so they don't fucking swipe it.
Fair enough. So they're not here yet. They're making their way through crowds at the moment. You guys have a few minutes where you are basically the only ones on scene.
Okay, can I sneak read it really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read that really quick and pocket it, just being sure that nobody is none of the authorities or bystanders are watching me.
Okay. There's not really an easy way. I already showed it to all of you. So only Grace knows about this at the moment, but this is what you read.
They're on to me. Xanathar, since you name it, can't leave the city or I'll disappear. I'm carrying something powerful, swiped it from Xanathar. It's him, swiped it from Xanathar himself. Everyone wants a taste. They need a sanctuary. Those friends of yours in the old Trollskull place, they're as resourceful as our say. They may be our best option. Shit. Mallory, skids over to Renair, and looks him over, trying to see if he can find what this thing is.
This note literally says, "This person has it."
Oh, the person has it. Okay.
So
All right, my bad.
this
I
note is addressed to Renair from this gnome, presumably. You talked about it with him the other night. He wanted to bring someone to Trollskull Manor. You refused him. And now it seems like he was kind of going to do that anyway for his sake.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever this gnome is that Renair was accompanying, you can kind of put two and two together and figure that this fellow was who he was talking about.
And this guy here is the gnome?
Yeah. And it's just signed D, so you can kind of connect it.
Alright,
This
Mallory's
gnome
gonna-
here is whoever this D person is.
Alright, Mallory's gonna take a look over him.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay. Also, I appreciate the Twilight Princess music.
You better.
It's aside from Breath of the Wild, it's my favorite Zelda game.
You can see that this person's pocket on the inside of his jacket has been torn asunder and something has been taken out of it.
Is there anybody at all who seems to be making their way away from the crime scene?
Yeah, this guy here has kind of got like one arm against the wall, and he's very slowly taking steps back northward towards this crying noblewoman.
Mallory's gonna signal to everybody toward this man and make his way over to him.
Does he look like he's like a guard or something? Like a personal escort?
Make an insight check.
8.
He carries himself like a noble. His clothes are very functional, but they're kind of designed to not attract notice.
Do I recognize him?
They're well-made clothes. You do not. You don't recognize him as at least one of the grander noble houses in Waterdeep. And he's got nothing on him to signal that he's a noble at all. There's no ring or signet or anything like that. But yeah, I think you can probably tell Sax that he's dressed to not attract attention to himself.
Okay. Okay, well then. Probably better to leave the bodies where they are for the time being. You know, given the circumstances and the guards are coming, so leave that be. And soon things will come out of the shadows and attack us. Okay.
This guy kind of like rubs his head and he looks at you as you approach. Grace, you just... What's going on?
Victim or perpetrator?
I don't... Who are you?
Victim or perpetrator?
Victim. God's above, man.
Who the hell are you?
Erstul Fluxen. He blinks and looks around. Gods, what happened?
What are you doing here?
The bookworms. I'm here to visit the bookworms trove.
Mallory heads back to the others. But he is keeping he is trying to keep a careful eye on this man.
Okay.
He is rather close, so he's probably not a freaking perpetrator.
I mean, really, it could fucking be anybody.
At this point, the guards have kind of approached the edge of the crowd, and they're beginning to like cordon the area off. You hear the guard captains shouting, "All right, everyone back! No one move. No one touch anything. You lot, cordon this area off. Someone go and get the damned investigators already. Barnabas should be the closest. Bring him."
Barnabas?
The guards kind of take up position.
Isn't that the old guy? Is that the old guy that we ran into?
No, I don't think so. I'm looking for it. No, that's Vincent Trench.
Okay.
It's actually like come up to you, and I don't think this is the guy that he would have gotten here really quickly. It came from somewhere that way.
This man kind of like wanders over to where the station of guards is and goes, "Please, there's someone I need to meet. I'm just wondering if perhaps I could pass by." The guard kind of points to him and says, "Sorry, you'll have to give testimony. We won't keep you long." And the man just slumps down against the wall and slides to a seated position. Just drops his head into his hands. What's Raylana doing?
I would say she's currently like in shock of what just happened. She
You and
saw
everyone
her
else.
neighbor enter. Sorry?
You and everyone else. Like, you can see Fala Lafleer, the elf, is like, she's just like got two hands in front of her, and she's like dropped. Behind her, Embrick is kind of like standing cross-armed and looking out at everyone. The guards are moving around wildly now.
We're going to need to notify Melanor.
Yeah, I guess we will.
Do we even know where he's staying right? Is he even in town, or is he at...
He stays at a place in the South Ward, an outpost of the Emerald Enclave.
Right.
Odds are he hasn't.
No, he'll learn
Word
soon.
hasn't gotten to him yet.
Well, considering it just happened, no.
What's Zolmaya doing?
You awake, Min?
Min, is your laptop acting?
Okay then.
Alright, we'll give him a min it.
Ah,
Are
God
things,
damn it.
Jake?
Yes?
I think
I
still
hate
on
that you
fire.
made that joke.
They're very, like, they're still faintly flickering with fire. Yeah, there are some fires around the alley, but it's nothing too bad.
Is there a well nearby? We should try to put some of this out.
There is a well in, kind of stationed in court with all the growing plants in the greenhouse. There's a small spring that leads to a stone well in that building.
I'm gonna take 2 buckets. I'm assuming they're just lying around, and do a sorcerer's apprentice and just start like taking water back and forth.
We have someone who can actually put these fires out with us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Raylana just kind of snaps to it and she's like, "Oh, right, the fires," and starts casting prestidigitation on them to snuff them out.
But Gosra doesn't see, so she just comes back with like 2 buckets of heavy water, and she's like, "What? What happened?"
Magic.
I just drop them on the floor and let them spill. Has the town guard arrived yet?
Yeah, they're kind of cordoning people off and generally trying to keep order.
Well, this is rather fun, isn't it? I don't say that in character. I still look like shit, by the way.
I mean, when doesn't your character?
But I'm not exhausted.
I mean,
Fuck you too, man.
So most of the people who are hit by the fireball are not wounded, they're dead. You can think of a few people who would have wanted to do this, but you're unsure of who it was that actually cast the spell.
Surprised Renair's dead. He must have been hurt before getting here.
At this point, you do see a large fellow in a pink robe, accompanied by a member of the city watch, a tall fellow with sandy blonde hair, making his way southward through the streets towards Trollskull Alley. Where are you guys? He kind of like pushes his way through the throng of guards to get to the scene overlooking the blast. He takes a scroll out of one pocket, a quill out of the other. Goes, Ah. He counter gestures with his finger, and the quill starts. He puts a pair of glasses on his face, crystalline lenses. He begins going around and very slowly combing through his beard with one hand, looking at all of the evidence of this spell that's been cast here. Comes right up to the edge of the blast radius where you guys are kind of standing dumbfounded. He looks all of you over and says, "Who are you, then?"
We own this place. He gestured to the building behind me.
Or what's left of it?
I see. You're the proper residents, then.
Yep.
You will have to stay for questions. Do not go anywhere. I must complete my investigation. You have not disturbed the bodies, no?
Nope, not that I can see.
Very good, then. Please, try and stay out of the way. His tall friend kind of gestures to you and says, "Please, let the city watch do its job. Everything will be fine."
is there anything we can do to be of assistance?
You are not a guard. Nor are you a wizard. What do you think you could do then?
I have a number of skill sets that I may be able to bring to the table.
And what is that? I am not in the business of entertaining amateurs.
I am no amateur.
Bah, I have no time for this. And he goes back to looking over the body. The tall guard says, "We will come and investigate. We will interview you after we complete our preliminary walkthrough. Please just try not to disturb too much. This is important business." Where he goes, he kind of like peers down at the bodies. Ah! Yeah. Mm-hmm. Most unfortunate this. He stands. Well then, it is clear to me, Barnabas Blastwind, of the Watchful Order of Magisters and Protectors, that this is the work of foul magic.
Is that right, Barnabas Blastwind?
Yes.
That is an unfortunate last name.
Yes.
I don't know. He seems
No, he fits the bill.
he
He does look like a Barnabas.
he doesn't seem competent. I guess is the word I'm looking for.
It's me.
I mean, the work of foul magics. Like, yeah, of course it was. He was gonna throw a bomb in the middle of Trollskull Alley.
He kind of stands and wanders over to you. Come then, Zeth. Please, take the notes. It is good to have a second recounting of these events. Now, all of you, he gestures to the inhabitants of this Trollskull Manor. What did you see here then? You must have seen something.
Raylana pipes up and she goes, "Well, I was up in my room, the one with the turret, and I saw my friend Renair running down the street with another person, and then at the last second I saw an orb of fire, and then everything blew up."
This orb of fire, how big was it?
Do I remember that from last session?
It was just tiny enough to recognize it as a fireball.
Okay, I relay that to him.
Ah! Then we have an experienced spellcaster, most likely a wizard or a sorcerer, but there are other ways of achieving such magics. Yes. This is unfortunate to have a rogue of this stature on the loose. Most unfortunate. Well then, Seth, I think we have gleaned all we can from our present situation. Tell the Whisperers to come around and collect the bodies to take to the guard outpost nearest here. I will conduct my investigations there. The rest of you, please go back to your home. Do not worry. The criminal who has perpetrated this crime will be caught and brought to justice. Now, I bid you all farewell. Seth, before he goes, says, we'll contact you about recompense for your tavern. Eventually. Once we get all of this sorted out. I can assure you of that. Trust in the God. Have a good day, citizens.
And
Farewell.
and I'm certain you recognize the group of individuals that must be responsible for this, yes? Mallory points.
1 second, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Do they really call their freaking thing the Whispered Ones or whatever? The guys that go around and cast Speak with the Dead? I assume that's what they do? Just from the name? Anyone else? No?
I've
I
think the
don't
same
know
thing.
lots
That
about
would be kind of
lore,
cool.
but yes, it would be cool.
It just sounds like what they would do.
Yeah, so the Whisperers are actually a sect of the Raven Queen Temple. They are caretakers of dead bodies. They're like undertakers, more or less. They perform last rites.
Ah,
I
Wait,
thought
so
they
they're
might also
wrestlers?
just cast Speak with Dead to figure shit out.
They're wrestlers then?
Hold on, BRB, my cat fell. My cat's okay,
He's just dumb.
He's such a goofy dingus.
he fucking was hanging bookshelf flip. But he fell on like he's fine. He's just like was like ow, and I'm like
Oh, he did the thing where he tried to jump up on something but ate shit.
no, he's just a fat boy. He was trying to lay on a very small space and then he fell off.
I wonder what the
He looked
supposed
at me as
item
if I
was that
pushed
this
him.
guy had.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
must have been super important.
Dank memes. I'm so
Did he
sorry.
steal the Xanathar's fish?
I mean, I don't think that would be of great power.
Didn't
No, but
Alex
it would-
steal the? Didn't Alex steal the fish in his campaign?
I don't know,
Who?
did he?
Maybe. I remember him talking about that. That was a while ago, though.
Sax would totally eat it in front of the Xanathar. Just devour it.
Just like swallow it, I'll just fucking bore it.
Insta death.
No, just eat it. Don't make things, weird.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Give me like 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright, no problem.
Must be a kid thing.
Probably.
But Bree,
Ye-
dude, I will totally do my idea, and it like,
Yeah, that. Honestly, it sounds like that would be that sounds like a really good idea. All you have to do is get the okay from the DM.
yeah. I'll work on drawing him so I can make him beautiful. Beautiful, gross man.
The most disgusting, beautiful man.
God, he's gonna have a heart of gold, but good golly, he's gonna be
He-
gross.
He's gonna have a heart of gold and a face of tentacles.
Like, okay, so I'll fill you guys in a little just because I love my idea and
Oh,
I like it.
just interrupt you really quick. Just before I forget. Just let me know. Just DM me what the general idea for your character was. By the way, Kylie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I feel like this is definitely something that we can work with.
It'll be so much fun. Everyone's gonna be interconnected in this party.
Oh my fucking god, yes!
gonna
It's
be
going to
all
be so
fucking
cool.
God, I can't wait to be a fucking gross fish man.
And you're
I
gonna have a
just-
subpar DM.
Yo,
Hey,
fucking,
no, as
You'll
long
be
as you
good.
try,
You'll be
it'll
good.
great.
you're gonna be fucking coolest. You're gonna be the Gucciest.
As a really bad DM, I promise you can do a lot better than just you're gonna be fine. It'll be
For
Same
an
for me.
example, just watch my other stream. Where I take people
Oh,
through Storm King's Thunder.
Also, I really wish I could find a different old one or elder god that deals with knowledge that isn't fucking Yogg-Sothoth.
make your own.
I will.
I mean-
Oh my god.
I was thinking of doing that, to be honest.
Give
Honestly,
me your
just
idea
make it
before
un-
doing anything solid, okay?
No, I know, I definitely will.
Sorry, Day? You just have to make it totally unpronounceable and put some apostrophes in there, and there you go, Lovecraft.
And you need tons of eyes or no face at all. It's one or the other. You can't
Because
fucking do both.
Or just
I
an
have
amorphous blob.
a couple of ideas of what could potentially be your patron.
Can it be Rufio? Can it be my? I'm joking. No. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Hi.
So yes, Barnabas Blastwind and his assistant clear off. And shortly thereafter, several priests come by, wearing black veiled masks with the symbol of the Raven Queen draped around their necks. They begin tending to what remains of Renair and this gnome and the 5 or 6 other people in the alley. This gray, white-haired fellow kind of makes his way off and northward out of the wreckage, very slowly picking his way through the guards as soon as they'll let him. Just appears a bit staggered, much like the rest, and then he disappears as well. The noblewoman has calmed down somewhat. She's talking with her servants now and wildly flailing her wind fan against the air. And Avi has disappeared back into the blacksmiths to go back to work. So Embrick is still trying to comfort Vala. The rest of the people are slowly making their way off and back into the parts of Trollskull Alley that they came from.
Well, what do we even do now? We don't have the money to rebuild this place.
And you know how governments are with insurance.
It's not really that the building itself is destroyed, it's charred on the outside and there's probably broken windows.
Yes.
Okay.
It's more superficial damage than anything.
Okay.
Although it might be a good idea to not run for a little while, because one, we need to fucking find some workers. And of course get the repairs.
Well, we do own some property now. What with Froon?
Oh, that's true.
Oh, you want to have a freaking bet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won the
What
bet.
about that?
Was it you who made that freaking bet?
It
Yeah,
was Bree and I, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you guys would do that. Of course.
Well, I mean, it was obvious we were gonna win.
Was it though?
We were
Yes,
one
it
failure away from not winning, so...
Yeah. I had, a level of exhaustion and all that shit, so... beforehand. It's currently still sitting on 1 because the long rest only gets rid of 1 per rest. I mean, we might have enough gold to repair the place. We have 200 in the group loot.
So how do you guys feel right now? What's the general state of this group? What are you thinking, and what are your thoughts on what to do next?
Well, having not seen the note and all that, don't really have a whole lot.
Yeah, Gazra's just kind of thinking, like... that I don't really trust that investigator, and she's kind of considering going to the Tiger's Eye to try and figure out what was going on.
Problem of not having freaking money.
Also, my dad's in hell, so this is just, there's
Oh,
a lot
fucking
going on for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell
You
that
shit,
happened
I
or what we were
forgot.
supposed to do about that.
You should probably share with the group that your dad's in hell.
That only
Okay.
has fucking
It's just the
fireball.
icing on the
Random
cake.
Shit.
Oh,
Oh
by
yeah,
the way,
guys,
guys.
also.
No, like legit, I'm gonna come up and look at the charring, like smoking crater, and I'm just gonna say, my father's in hell, and I don't know what to do about that. And I've just got like this really dead expression on my face.
One of the whisperers is tending to the body. She knows you. You frequent the temple. It might not be the same temple, but she knows of what you do for the Raven Queen. And she just kind of like stands stark still. She turns towards you and is like, what?
I don't know how he got there, and I don't know how he got me this message, but I had a vision. He was in... I don't know the name of the first level of hell, but I'm sure
Avernus.
Gaza does. Avernus, there we go.
She goes, that's beyond the power of any of us. I wish you luck, my lady. I feel you will need it.
So do I.
The Queen calls for these ones. I must go and do my duty.
I just give her like a nod of acknowledgement.
She gently moves the cart on its way by kind of smacking the horse on the ass that's attached to it, and it starts rolling out slowly. The still smoldering bodies are carried away out of the alley, and the whisperers follow. Their faces still veiled, so you can't see who's behind them.
I guess I'll head back inside and just sit down.
At this point,
Okay.
I'm like, what the fuck do we do?
I'm sorry, I can't decide that for you.
No, I know we can't. Technically, we can't go anywhere because they haven't questioned us yet.
They've questioned you as much as they need to.
Okay.
I'm sure there were more and more appropriate questions than what they asked. But suffice to say, it seems like this magister was pretty inept at his job. He figured things out at a surface level, kind of left it at that, hauled away the bodies, and that's kind of where it's been left to lie.
Hey. Is there any... Did they take all, like, the weapons or whatever that was laying around as well?
They did, yes.
Kind of assume they did. Just checking.
They took everyone away to the nearest guard outpost for, necromancy and stuff.
Yeah. So if we all go back inside, are we?
Yeah, I'm assuming we have. What should our plan be, guys?
I should probably go inform my family of the news of my father. They probably don't know.
Do you want me to come with you or anything? Or do you want to do this by yourself?
I mean, you can if you want to put up with my mother.
Yeah, I'll come with you. I mean, your mom's not so scary.
Well, not scary, just... She really kills the mood.
Oh,
Malorite, what was that thing that you picked off of out of his hand?
Are all the guards gone?
More or less, yeah. You guys are back in the manor by now anyway.
I pull out the scroll and show it to them.
What did it say again?
I think it's on the handouts.
So actually just kind of look up at you. Did you find anything on him The gnome.
No, they had clearly taken something from him. Whatever it was that they had.
Xax's like fist kind of shakes a bit and with not at you or anything, but just kind of because of Xanathar's, enough to like draw blood from his palm.
Do we know who would have known about this as well as Renair? Can we get more details about this?
Maybe.
Well, as far as investigating it goes, you guys have not like talked to witnesses or anything. You could look into like faction connections or things like that. However you decide to go about it, whatever you think is best.
I'll look at Mallory and I'll be like, is there any way we could find out more about this through your people?
After you see that Vincent fellow. I don't know what he charges, but
Wait, who was Vincent again?
the investigator.
Detective.
Oh, okay.
That dude.
Gazer will be like, my brother? Question mark?
No, the other Vincent.
No. God, no.
No, her neighbor.
The way edgier one.
The man with, well, a name, I guess. I was gonna say no name, but he has a name. We don't know his name.
The replicant from Fallout 4.
Nick Valentine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, let's go talk to this detective man and see if he could help us find a lead.
Okay. You guys set off as a group to do this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let's
think that
do
would
it.
be a good idea.
So, as you make your way across the ruins of the blackened spot in the street, you see that the noblewoman has, and most of the others have cleared off as well. The business people that operate here kind of go back to work. Embrick is still talking with the elven woman who runs the shop, the greenhouse. He and his friend. As you make your way west, you notice that in this alley, this cramped space between the Tiger's Eye and the rest of the buildings surrounding you guys, there's three what look like street urchins, kind of dressed up like adventurers. One of them wears like a swashbuckler's hat and carries a wooden sword. And one of them has long black hair, and you can see by her ear tips she's a half. And the other one is a small, rotund, dark-skinned fellow who looks like he's playing a mock cleric of Lathander. And they seem to be arguing about something. And as you come closer, you can see that the dark-haired one, the small girl, is shouting out, "No, it's mine, Squidly!" And he goes, "Oh, come on! You told me I could be the leader today. I get first choice of loot." She goes, "Not on your life." He goes, "Don't make me take it from you." And he kind of like brandishes his wooden sword at her, and she goes, "Try me, Squibs." And the small dark kid one, the small dark-haired cleric kind of turns to him and says, "Come on now, don't you think we should take that to the guard?"
Did you say these were younger people?
Yeah, they're small children, but they're kind of like dressed up in kids cosplay, like they're pretending to be adventurers.
They're freaking LARPing.
Yep.
Oh my god.
They
So
really
lucky.
are.
Those goddamn dweebs.
Malarai will head over and kneel down to them, so he's at eyesight. So
Do we
he's
see
at
what
a
they're
eye level
holding?
with them.
What's your passive perception?
My
13?
passive is 13, but I'm at a level of exhaustion if that takes into account. So
Go ahead and make a perception check. They're not being particularly quiet. They
9.
notice you guys approach.
11.
You can tell it's something that she can hold in one hand. She pockets it as you guys approach. And she, as you kneel down, she goes, huh. She says to you, "Back, knave, for you have approached the Order of Intricacy's secret hideout. Tall folk are not allowed here. Back, or we'll fight you."
Tall folk aren't allowed, huh?
She draws up a wooden quarterstaff and plants it against the ground, and like points her hand at you, like she's gonna cast foul magic in your direction.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I'd stumbled into such a secretive headquarters.
Could you talk a little louder? Like you, when you get into
Sorry.
character, you can like whisper almost.
I'm sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
do.
I'm terribly sorry. I didn't realize I had wandered into such a secretive lair. But what seems to be the trouble here?
The small one with the wooden sword and the swashbucklers turns to you, and you can tell he's a tiefling. He goes, "She's not sharing." The girl says, "I told you. I found it. It's mine." And he goes, "But I'm leader today, Nat."
Oh.
She says, "Mm-mm. This trumps that. No. Fine like this. Mm-mm." And then Jenks says, "But party loot." She just kind of rolls her eyes.
Well, you are a band of adventurers, are you not?
They all nod their head. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes, we're the Order of Intricacies. You have no business here. Unless you have a secret.
I have many secrets. May I see what you found, though? I shall not take it from you.
She goes to pull it out, and then she says, "I don't think so. You have to tell us a secret first."
How about this? With this change of mind, I pull out 3 gold pieces. If these are street
Instantly-
urchins.
The tiefling's like, "Wow, gold!" The girl's like, "Whew." She comes over to you. She goes, Wait. These are foul creatures. It could be a trap. Do not let them charm you." And she holds out her quarterstaff to draw them back. The small boy's like, "Nat, come on, I just want to go home. It's been a long day already. My mom's gonna be worried about me, and there's gold there too."
Hold now, Sax. These warriors certainly seem to mean business. I said Sax. Jeez.
It looks like we lost men.
Well then. I can prove to you that we mean no harm. What kind of secret would you like to know?
She gives you a look like she wasn't prepared for the question. She goes, a good one.
Well,
One from each of you. She's
Well then. What if I told you that I'm not from around here?
Where are you from? The South Ward? Because we're really from the South Ward. So Mom said we could play in the North Ward today.
Well, that was very nice of her. But I don't mean from around here. Not from around the city. I come
Are you from the jungles of Chult?
Oh, no.
Are you a lich?
Oh,
Because if you are, we will destroy you. And she spins her staff.
well, I have no doubt he would do just that. I'm from the beautiful Shining Lands from the south.
The little boy's like, wow, I've heard about them. And I like your clothes, mister.
I thank you. I got most of them from back there. He takes the flower out of his hair. I got this from where I grew up. The Silver Fields Monastery. The only place known in the world where these beautiful flowers bloom. And he puts it back into his hair.
Make a persuasion check.
Okie dokie. Persuasion.
Nice.
She goes,
Hell yeah.
acceptable. You can pass. You are now a member of the Order of Intricacies.
Oh.
As for the rest of you, you must pay your due. And she moves her quarterstaff to let you by, and then immediately puts it back up to block Raylana.
It's certainly an honor.
Secret.
He
Okay.
keeps the other two kids entertained by doing a couple tricks with his cloak.
They're totally into it.
Aw.
There's a couple different basically gifts of fields and ocean and stuff like that.
You get the feeling that this girl is the brains of the group, but this tiefling kid, he's kind of the heart. He's so into it. He's like, do a dragon next. Yeah! He's the super excitable one.
And oh my god, that's fucking adorable.
This little chubby one, he's kind of kicking the ground, but he's smiling too. The girl looks at Raylana. Well, are you going to follow your companion into the depths of darkness? Or are you going to leave him, unable to pay the price?
I'm just trying to think of something that's accurate for, that's something worth your exchange. And she just kind of taps her chin and thinks for a moment.
She goes,
leans down.
You are very wise.
Oh, I do try to be. She kneels down and gets eye level with this girl. She's like, the first time I got in a fight, I broke my nose in 3 places. It had to take 3 hours for it to heal because the clerics it took them a long time because it was so busted up.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh, why? Poetic justice.
I mean, technically, we all have rerolls again, so... Do you want to use it now?
Yeah, Jake, can I reroll?
Sure. I haven't given you guys a token yet, but we'll just call this your reroll, if you want to.
Oh, yeehaw.
Okay. So she considers your secret and says, you've proved that you're strong, worthy of being a member. You may pass.
Why, thank you, mistress. And then I just walk off and kind of join Mallory and entertain the kids further. I do a little
Now
prestidigitation
she
tricks.
cries at Galar, the fierce lady of death awaits. I will hold you at bay if need be.
Wait, is she
Unless-
calling?
Yeah, she's calling you the fierce lady of
Okay.
unless you pay the proper toll. What is your secret?
Great, these kids are just fucking adorable, and I'm into
I
it.
love them. I'll get down and I'll whisper. and I'll tell her about my great-grandfather Gabriel, who founded the noble Bela Lugosi house, and
She
how
goes,
he killed a dragon.
Really? You, Gabriel? Gabriel Belagosi is... Your secret is good. You may pass.
I'll shake her hand.
She barely holds back her admiration as she shakes your hand, and then she looks at her shaking palm, kind of cups it and holds it to her chest as she narrows eyes at Zilmaya. What is your secret, fell beast?
Rude.
Well, Zill's not here anymore. Min just poofed.
Oh no! I wanted to hear what Min's secret was. Okay,
And just
okay.
repeat what one of us said.
Yeah. Mallory sings in the shower. Just throws you guys under the bus. Alright, we'll give him a pass. But yeah, so last in line is Sax.
Hey,
And at this point,
I sing, and I sing like a goddamn diva, and you know it.
yeah.
Dude, don't swear in front of the kids. I kind of give him a light smack.
Zill
No,
just
that's like no, I'm just joking.
Zill just hoots out the noises of you guys making love 2 nights ago.
Oh my
no!
god! No!
No,
Traumatizes the little girl. No.
nothing.
He-
It's fine.
He probably tells the tale of his parents or something like that. Maybe. We'll find out when he gets here.
That might be too sad.
But yeah, last in line is Sax, and she puts the quarterstaff up in front of you. It says, "Your companions have gone ahead. You are last in line. Tell me your secret, or return from whence you came."
How? Since this is a kid, she's probably flinging her quarterstaff around all wrong.
Yeah, so she's decent with. I mean, she's not a fighter, you can tell, but she's got good form.
Instead of a secret, how about I show you how to use that?
Make a persuasion check.
No. All right. 2.
She goes, "I think not. I know my weapons fine. I will not be suspect. Your trickery will not work on me. Tell me your secret, and you may go on your way."
God damn it. Fucking A. I just have to be. Well, first it's a freaking persuasion check, which is my dump stat. It wouldn't have mattered anyway because I was a fucking natural 3. Plus, I have disadvantage, so that was even worse.
Show her how to do a handstand.
Do a flip.
Yeah. It's
Part
just
of me wants to do that weird thing where you just kind of do that weird ninja shit and then just flick the staff and it just explodes. I
Yeah.
really want to do that. But
Sax is "Shut up, kid," and just goes, "I don't think so." Oh, so what does he do? She's not buying what you're selling with the quarterstaff. She thinks she's good enough. She wants the juicy details.
God damn it. I was really hoping that was going to work. Because that was what I was banking on. Sax is not fucking good with kids.
you could say a Xanathar secret if you want to get these kids in serious trouble.
Yeah, if I want to get him killed, yeah. Sorry I'm holding it up, guys. It really threw a freaking wrench in my thing there. My curiosity is fucking killing me, Jake. I hate you.
You could. I was even going to like teach them some orcish tribal thing.
I mean, you could tell her the secret of your origin story. Just saying.
No. This kid doesn't need to fucking hear that.
You could teach her like a kobold greeting or something.
Ooh, that's what. How about I teach you to swear in Draconic?
Oh.
Proceed, lizard man.
Are you going to teach?
I am
are you
going to
actually teach them swears?
say. I'm gonna see if I do. On an even number, I won't. On an odd number, I will. Okay.
Oh,
Because I thought, but maybe I would just not make it that.
teach her to say apple or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it the word for bum in Draconic.
Okay. Really quick. Whoever put this on the queue, fuck you for giving me these feels again.
Yeah, me too, Day. You little stinker.
She repeats the word like 3 times. She says, "All right, you may pass. You are now indoctrinated into the Order of Intricacies. All of you are. We don't usually accept the tall folk. So this is a great
The
honor."
tall folk. To the 3-foot tall lizard dude.
Yeah, you're like the same size as her. You're okay, though, she says to you. Now then, as to your question before, we've recently stumbled upon a great and powerful treasure. We found it just after the accident when we were playing in the alley a short time ago. She slowly brings it out, and you can see that there are maybe like 24 red beads kind of all linked together, and most of them are like they look like they're magical in some way.
No, you did not. No.
I didn't. I didn't catch the whole description. Can you just repeat it one more time?
So
24 seems like a lot, though. It's probably something I'm not thinking of. Sorry.
Give me a second. Okay, so it's not a bead of jewel. So it's like a gold chain with 8 red beads strung from the front of it. They're dim, but they're still flickering slightly. You can tell that there's some major or minor enchantment over it, just from looking. She goes, "This is the Order of Intricacies' first magic item. It's very important." And Jenks is like, "Well, that's why we gotta take it to the gods." And the little tiefling, Squidly, he goes, "No, we don't need to take it. Let's keep it. With this, we can destroy all of our enemies." Nag goes, "I will decide what to do with the treasure when the time is right."
Well,
Please, someone roll Arcana to know what this is. Out of game, I know what it is. They do not want this.
well,
I'm gonna roll an Arcana just to see.
Sure.
Nice, a solid 4.
Is anyone trained in it?
I don't think you guys are.
Is Zill trained in it?
let me. He might be. I don't think so, but let me double check.
I am
He
not.
is not.
No, he's not. Zill is a very unsmart bird.
Fuck.
You can just tell that it looks like a pretty standard magic. Maybe just a common one with a minor enchantment over it.
I'll
You
speak
don't
up, and I'll be
Notice
like,
any runes or anything like that.
"Where did you guys get this?"
She goes, "Well, you are a part of the order now. And honesty is important. After the explosion in the alley. We were all here playing. It fell right there. So she points kind of behind where you guys came in to a barrel of water.
Oh shit, I think Malarai is catching on to what this is.
I'm out of character catching on to what it is.
Yeah, I fucking know what it is.
Yeah.
And these
She
kids
goes,
do not want to have this.
We fished it out. We found it. Now it's our party's first magic item. With this, we will be ever powerful. Our first dungeon awaits.
Well,
Do you
Have
know
you
what
had
it
experience?
does?
Yes, of course I do. I'm a very powerful wizard, she said.
if you don't know what it does, it's okay for you to tell us.
Jenks goes, yeah, come on, Nat. Honesty. She goes, no. I was gonna see if somebody would look at it for me, but
Well,
I don't know. But it's magical.
well, it certainly looks that way. And magic is a tricky thing.
You don't think it's cursed, do you?
Well, it doesn't look cursed. Do you feel cursed?
No.
Well, probably isn't cursed then. But, even so, normal magical items can still cause people harm if someone doesn't know how to use it properly. I'm certain that a lot can handle yourself, but I wouldn't want anything to happen to you three before you're able to grow up and become true adventurers.
Make
wouldn't
a
want that
make
either,
a
would you?
persuasion check with advantage. Because you're
Okay.
part of the order now.
And speak up, man.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay there.
She looks like she wants to refuse, and she bites her lower lip. She goes, fine, but on one condition. We sell it to you. Proper trade, like adventurers.
Oh.
I'll give you this necklace for 10 gold.
Well,
I will hand over 15. The extra is for a quest well completed.
Wow, Jake! Our first quest reward! Nat, go. Oh, thank you. Yes, here. This is yours now, Trollskull troublemakers.
and
Watch over it
Alright.
carefully.
Malarai will give them five more gold,
Why? I just gave him 15.
and that so you three can find yourself some good and proper equipment. All dungeoneers need
Oh,
proper
God.
equipment now, don't they?
That is
Squibbler's
terrible.
like-
Terrible idea.
I can get me a bastard sword now. A right proper one.
But just remember, listen to your parents. If they say that a real weapon is too dangerous now, it might be a good idea to wait a little bit until you're a little bit older. How does that sound?
The gatekeepers of the void are wise in ways that we cannot understand. But we will do as you ask.
Well,
Cue Let's Fighting Love from South Park as these kids play with real weapons.
you three wouldn't want to accidentally hurt each other before you can go on a true dungeon quest, now would you?
Oh, we're going to go on a dungeon. A dungeon delve. You can be sure of that. Come on, boys. It's time to go gear up. Stay true to yourselves, she says before she leaves.
And you as well, fellow
Be wary.
adventurers.
She dashes off as the rest of them are like fighting their way out of the alley.
I'll
We
give
gotta
her,
go! We gotta go!
I'll give her like a little salute before she goes because I know she likes me.
Yeah, she smiles like a giddy schoolgirl, and then like she realizes her facade is cracked, and she puts on her tough wizard demeanor again. She just lowers her head at you and nods.
And remember, don't stay out too late, or else your parents may get worried.
When she gets to the end of the alley, she turns around. Azalan, Menthalor, Galbetrion, and then like dodges out of the way to the side like she's turning invisible.
Or using
Aw.
Misty Step.
Yeah.
Aw,
She probably has like a little flower thing that she takes out of her pouch and just throws it against the ground, and it goes. And it's actually kind of effective, but you see her like dash away through this little flower bomb.
Okay. Like a tiny baby smoke bomb.
Vincent Trench is watching from the second story window of his balcony, and he just shakes his head.
We may have work for you.
It's not open. It's closed and caked with grime, and as soon as he sees you looking at him, he just slowly like disappears out of the frame. You hear him clobber down the stairs, and then the lock in the front door clicks and opens, and he goes, "Trollskull troublemakers. To
One and
what
the
do I
same.
owe the pleasure?"
Who has the necklace? We should probably just show him
Malarai
it.
probably does.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we'd want to give this to the guard right away, but I think we found some evidence of the crime that has just occurred. I'm certain you'd be of interest.
Come in, boys and girls. Lock the door behind you.
Malarai swaggers on in.
It's a dank little hovel. You can see that there is a fine noble cloak strung up on a coat rack next to the door, and like a small parasol situated beside it. He goes, "You'll have to excuse me. I've got company at the moment, but I feel you may be interested in what she has to say. Come on upstairs when you're settled. There's booze there if you fancy yourself a small drink." He himself goes and pours one out. It's like a small snooter of gin. And then he marches away back upstairs.
Does he have anything that looks strong?
Yes. It's all strong.
Malarai is going to pour himself like a double and a half shot and just down it at once and then head upstairs.
Okay.
He needs that after what happened.
This man is cold and mysterious.
Yeah, really.
I love him.
So when you get upstairs,
Wait a minute, where's that wind coming from?
he's smoking.
Wherever I go, it follows.
He's smoking a cigarette, and he's turned to stare out over Trollskull Alley. And as you climb up the stairs, the world around you goes black and white. It's a strange, subtle, magical effect.
Yes.
Oh my fucking god!
I enjoy this.
Is there a magical ambience of rainfall and jazz?
Right. The storm outside grows thicker, and you can see that this noble woman is crying into a handkerchief at what amounts to a small beat-up desk that he's got situated in the middle of the room. There's a plant growing nearby, but it looks ill-tended too. Like he hasn't had the time or the effort to help it survive up to this point. It's just kind of wilting, and there's leaves on the floor. The woman crying into her handkerchief turns and kind of like sobs and looks at all of you and says, You're the Trollskull troublemakers from across the street." He goes, "That they are. That they
Mallory,
are.
Mallory holds out his hand, like holds out two fingers, kind of asking for a cigarette.
He gives you one. Then he does that thing where he like leans in and lights it with his own.
Damn it.
So you want me to look at a necklace? Best lay everything on the table. Old Jezrin here will be interested to see what you guys have to say. See what you found.
Mallory very carefully sets the necklace onto the table.
He goes,
Not a-
yeah,
I'm not
just
sure
like I
what this
thought. He takes a long drag off of his cigarette.
I have an idea of what it might be.
Well, what's your gut tell you, boy? It's a good thing you didn't take it to the guards, I can tell you that. Don't trust the guards.
Oh, that one guy seems rather incompetent.
Ah,
A lot of the guard in the city seems that way.
Yeah, but that guy in particular. By the way, all of our voices right now are in that weird, like, noir voice sounding thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's contagious.
Trollskull
Tell me
Alley.
tell me what you think. Greenhorn?
Well, large explosion. About as large as an experienced spellcaster could manage. Glowing bee on the magical necklace.
God, he's doing it too.
Seems like this may have been the tool to do the crime.
He blows smoke kind of up in the air over the desk. I'd say you're right on the money with that. Spellcaster? Nah. If he was a wizard, he wouldn't have needed anything like this. I've seen these before. It's a necklace of fireballs, is what you got there. And that what happened earlier? Well, I don't know about you. That looked an awful lot like a fireball to me. Jezrin's like, with renewed. So you got the means, boy. But what's the motive? Who's your perp?
I think it's pretty clear who the or what the group was.
God damn it! You just love Tycho talking like that, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
It's pretty addictive.
As dastardly and cunning as a snake, one could say. If you catch my
The
drift.
Zentarum. We can speak freely here. I have means of ensuring our confidentiality.
That's a show.
Yeah, the snakes. I get that.
Not so sure about that though.
What makes you say that?
I think it's related to something else, considering something that we did come across. And I
Why
kind
don't you
of
see what my beautiful Jezrin here has to say? She's been feeding me a whole line, story, all morning long.
I do kind of like draw on that small piece of paper the circle with the 10 spokes.
Well,
The circle with what now? The
The
spoked wheel?
Xanathar symbol, yeah. The spoked wheel.
It goes. I recognize that. It's the other half of an interesting story. Jezrin goes. It wasn't a man. You're talking about him like it was some bandit, some thug. I saw him, Vincent.
saw who?
Saw it. It wasn't a man. More like a puppet, but shaped like a man, but without strings. It was made of burnished bronze and pale wood, with a a pointed beard at the edge of his chin, but made of metal, and a curled mustache of woven gold. It wore a deep red gown and a feathered hat, like a duelist, and all manner of strange devices turned beneath its metal skin, moved most unnaturally. It threw it, cast that fireball into the crowd, and I saw them. I saw them burned alive.
So not a man, but look like one. That's strange. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
He goes, I'll be honest with you, Greenhorn. That's what's got me stumped too. Ain't never heard of anything quite like it before.
Hold on a moment. Mallory turns to Gazra and Raylana.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you two say that at some point you had encountered a woman that holds a sort of mechanical contraption? Something that moves on its own, made of metal. Maybe she might know something of this.
I don't know if it's a good idea for Raylana to talk to that woman again.
I know.
Okay, what?
He's talking about the lady with the submarine.
The
Oh,
bitch
yeah,
who kidnapped
her.
the baby shrimp.
Oh yeah, Rilana just kind of pipes up. She's like, no, that was not man-shaped. But I think I heard my mom tell me stories about, beings like that. They're just super old, mechanical type people. Like, they were used for wars, and I just thought it was a myth because, sailors talk, but maybe this is an actual thing. Like...
Well, whatever
And she
they
just
are, they
kinda-
don't-
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Oh.
it's fine.
Whatever they are, it certainly doesn't seem like something very common. I imagine it would be hard for something like this to blend in. Or at least one would think so.
Did it have any symbols on it?
She shakes her head. No, it was strangely woven all about. Mastercrafted and articulated. I can't tell you much more than that, but perhaps someone saw more than I.
Where did you see this thing?
It was on the roof, west of Trollskull Manor. It threw the fireball down into the alley, and then it leaped down after.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't, just crazy talk from being in shock.
Right. Make an insight check.
Sure. I'm so good at these right now. I'm so good at all my rolls right now. 11.
Zach's like, wait. Say that again. Okay, I'm watching now. Okay, yeah, you're fine. No, yeah, you kind of get that feeling like she is a little bit in shock. But you can't place whether it's a lie or not, or if she's elaborating more than she should be.
Well, she doesn't have a reason to lie, but...
Vincent goes, have you found any corroborating evidence? Did you question any witnesses before that blast wind fellow showed up?
We didn't really have a chance to.
Word of advice, Greenhorn. Gotta be quicker on the draw. Once the guards arrive, they muck everything up.
Well, we did happen to find this. Mallory takes out the scroll that he had found and unfurls it onto the table.
Wow. Now that's something you don't see every day. And I've been doing this for God knows how long.
Whoever did this had something stolen from them, and did this to get it back. The body of the gnome had nothing on it. So, they were successful in their mission.
Stands to reason, then, that whatever this metal puppet is, he's the one who's got your item.
Sounds like it.
Suppose there's nothing for it but to track this fellow down. If you can afford me, that is.
What's the price?
He goes, 100 gold a day. No more, no less.
Out of here, should we just pay him like for 1 day and see what he can figure out? Because that's currently all we can afford.
Yeah.
Question mark?
Well, I know a place where we could get a lot of money.
I look inquisitively at Rilano, like, where?
Remember our fun little adventure last week with the shark?
How are we gonna get a hold of the apparatus again?
I was gonna steal it, honestly. That lady's a bitch. She
Yeah,
shocked me.
she's gonna kill you, is what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna
But
let you
there's
steal
more
that.
than 3 of us now.
Well,
We stole it once before, and now she's pissed.
What if we do it better
It
and
stands
with
to
more
reason
friends?
that she. Sorry.
Nah,
stands
that
to
was the
reason
end.
that. It stands to reason that she wouldn't know all of us, and I'm just assuming here. She wouldn't be able to kill anyone if she was, well, dead herself first. Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Didn't
I
one of
mean,
you
she lives in the Misty Shores. A lot of sketchy shit happens every day there. Could be an accident.
Didn't one of you pick something up that's supposedly really freaking expensive? I feel like that was a thing at one point. I don't know what the hell it was. Or if we gave it to someone or what.
Maybe you were thinking of the hand that we picked up.
No, not the hand.
I
You do
don't
have a ring of
anything-
regeneration, too.
Oh yeah, but...
But I don't think it's worth selling that.
No, it's not.
Excuse me for a moment, if you would.
Take all the time you need. He goes over to comfort Jezrin in the meantime.
Mallory steps out and looks around the general area of where things happened. Looks around the houses and around the building that the woman said she saw the thing. And, I mean, he figures that if this thing was made of metal, it would stand to reason that leaping off of a building would probably leave some pretty hefty marks. So he's gonna try and look for something.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay. See if you can find anything of interest.
So, you do see where some of the panels have been broken off the roof of the building west of Trench's second-story apartment. It does look like there was somebody perched up there that leaped off and ruined some of them down into the... You don't see where they landed because everything's been obliterated down in that general vicinity. You see, Fala is kind of pointing to where you're looking, and then gestures down into the alley, and then she's feverishly gestures away to the east. And then Embrick is like putting his hand through his fiery beard and his hair, drawing it back and kind of looking at her dumbfoundedly. and you see he's talking very hurriedly about something as well. Kind of like leaned in close as they're gathered under the tree. They seem to be having a pretty dire conversation about something.
Holleray's just gonna lay low for a little bit, and then he's going to go over to speak to this person once they're done. Once the guy is done with her.
Okay. What do the rest of you guys do?
Well, Mallory just went and left and
Ma-
didn't say
Mallory's just
shit.
He's gone. Trench goes, well, I guess that deal fell through. I always have my day job, I suppose.
Wait,
What is your day job?
You don't want to know.
I kind
And he
of
like
really
puts out a
do.
cigarette.
Yeah.
Can I persuade him to tell me?
What do you say?
I mean, this deal might not fall through if once we get the appropriate funds. But in the meantime, I do really want to make sure that you're doing all right cash-wise. Oh, hell yeah.
Jeez.
What is his day job, Jake?
So he smiles and he looks at you.
And before he's a male escort.
He takes an extraordinarily long time to light up another cigarette in the darkened chamber. And then when everybody's kind of like up and milling around and moving around the room or going to check on Mallory, he holds the cigarette between the tips of 2 fingers, and then he bends his wrist to put it up to his lips. But instead of bending inward, his hand bends in the opposite direction, and the fingers splay outward, almost as if they've been broken at all their joints, and crack around, so that his hand is reversed. And he takes a long drag, and you see this almost feline sparkle across his eyes, and he goes, "You really don't want to know." And then as soon as the strangeness comes, it's gone, and he's back to being old Vincent Trench.
He's a fucking cat person.
A fucking
Oh,
weed.
if he's a fucking Rakshasa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The insanity.
Well, I mean,
Well, his shop is called the Tiger's Eye.
I know.
Oh.
That
Oh,
makes so much sense.
sense. God damn it.
That's why I'm like Rakshasa.
And he smokes. But it's not a pipe, it's a cigarette.
Is it bad that I like him more now?
No, not at all. I love him so much. Raylona just kind of like nods to herself and it's like, all right,
Oh, wait,
we'll
see,
probably be seeing each other again then. And then I walk downstairs and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Would Gazra know what he is?
There's a good chance. Make make an Arcana check. Is that a thing that you have a feature, right, that lets you do this with advantage? Am I wrong? I feel like I'm talking out of my ass.
I don't have a.
Maybe if it's related to
Specific
undead,
feature.
but I mean, that's just kind of weird.
I was trained in like history and religion.
Go ahead and make a history check.
Okay.
Oh.
It's a pretty good Arcana check by itself. Your history is going to be like a 20 with that.
There it is. It is 20.
God
Hell
damn.
yeah!
Yeah, I think. Did you see this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of like leaned up against the far wall, and as soon as this happens, it piques your attention because like there's only one type of creature that moves in this way, that is deceptive in this way, and you know from your studies that most of these types of creatures are immensely hard to find and to kill. They're extraordinarily dangerous and also evil.
Usually. This guy seems alright.
So far.
He hasn't tried to kill us yet.
Yet.
Gosra keeps an extra eye on him. And just kind of, she puts herself between him and other party members whenever possible.
He pours Jezrin another drink. There. And he kind of like looks at you and goes, dames can be so emotional.
I frown. Like angrily. I'm like, really?
We may be back if we are unable to learn anything and have the funds.
I look forward to seeing you again then, Sax.
I'm not gonna question it.
I mean, he's a detective, so.
Yeah, exactly.
He kind of like watches you guys through the window as you go, and then very slowly draws the blind. The shutters just drop, hiding his face from the world.
And then he devours the woman that's in
That
the
was
room.
that was the last anyone saw of Jezrin Horvath.
Okay, I'm gonna go see if our good friend... Ah, crap, I keep forgetting his name. Rishal knows anything or saw anything.
Rishal the page turner. Okay, so you're going to talk to Rishal. Mallory is going to talk to... who did you say you were going to go interrogate? Or listen in on?
I think he said the, over here.
I think so too, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. So is anyone gonna come with me, since I pretty much said it out loud?
I'll go with you.
So, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Whenever we split the party, bad things happen. So, okay, Sax is going to interrogate a guy, or is that...
No, I'm gonna ask him, not interrogate, since that almost sounds too hostile. Have a discussion with, or talk to.
And then Mallory is going to talk to someone else?
Yeah, I think he said he wanted to go talk to Fala and Embrick and company.
Well, Fala once Embrick is finished talking to her.
Okay. Yeah, so Sax, you kind of round the corner, and Rishal is out. He's out sweeping the steps of his shop nervously. Like, you can tell that they're clean, but he's doing it mostly out of habit. His doors are always open in decent weather. There's a little bit of rain, but it's drizzling down off the eaves of his building, so it's not getting indoors. The doors are still open to let in the breeze. As you approach, you can see that Froon has a large bag over his shoulder, and he is coming out of his basement tavern, and he kind of gives you the side eye from his staircase.
Sax knew nothing about that bet.
Riolana just stares him down.
I think he begins to make his way over towards you. Meanwhile, Rishal greets you and says, "I'm so sorry. All of you, please, tell me you're all right. Set my aging heart at ease."
We're all alright. The tavern got a little burned, but that's about it.
That's good. I was there last night, lost among the throng, I think, but I did stop by, as you mentioned. It was a good time. Reminded me of my younger days. It was quite sad to see what became of it as of this morning. You have my condolences.
Yeah, it was a really rough morning for us.
I understand. Please, there's a kettle of tea. I'll coming out of the rain. I'll see what I can do to brighten your spirits.
Sure, I guess.
He kind of shepherds you inside meekly. And when you both have a cup of tea in your hands, and it's not just like a cheap cup of tea, it's like a nice big mug that he saved for 20 years that is better than most mugs just for the fact that it's old and beloved. And the tea is amazing. You can tell he probably took some comfort to make. He's kind of got it set out, and it's still warm. He gets one for both of you. Says, have the gods been able to find out who's behind all of this?
No, but I think the one that came is rather incompetent.
Well, that's a shame. Perhaps they still might discover something yet. One can only hope, that is.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping too. We just wanted to make sure that you were all right, and if you saw anything at all, something out of the ordinary this morning.
The sound gave my heart a bit of a scare. A couple of the bookshelves were knocked clean over. I finished organizing them. I am afraid I was in the shop at the time. A man came stumbling by my window. I'd seen him before. He was walking this way with a band of cloaked fellows. I recognized his silver hair. He came in and they were all as a group, but when he left, he was all by himself. Walked straight past my window out on the far lane there. It was good to see that at least one of his party survived.
Like cloaked figures?
Yes. Apart from the one with the silver hair, there was 5, I believe. They all wore dark cloaks. If I had to put my finger on it, I would have labeled them for scoundrels, but that's neither here nor there. They're with the gods now.
Did you see any symbols on their cloaks? Or on them?
Come to think of it, I did see a symbol of a snake on one of them as he strode. It was near the back of the shop. The lighting was dark. It was a bit early in the morning. They seemed keen to follow a smaller fellow that they were chasing behind, moving quickly. I fear they were taken by that blast.
Interesting. Oh, fuck, that's the guy that... The guard are fucking looking for him.
Wait, Erstol Floxen?
Who of us had learned that? I wrote it down, but I don't know who learned that.
Eustace Staggett, a commander in the docks ward, said that they were looking for him. He was a high-ranking Zentarum operative. I had become active as of late. That was the reason that they had to, they couldn't spare so many men to investigate all the stuff that you guys did.
Oh, is that so? That's something that all of us heard?
Yeah, I think so. He was kind of saying it out loud to the group.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Did you catch the guy's name by chance?
I didn't speak to him. I only saw his face. It was a fleeting moment. He looked up at the building. Little more than a second. I was going to see if he needed aid with something, but then he was gone.
Okay.
Did you happen to discover anything?
We did find what potentially was the thing that caused the explosion. Did anyone of us take that back?
Take what back?
A necklace?
I would assume Mallory didn't
Oh,
just hand
yeah.
it over.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I would have just left it on the table for just a bit.
But did any of
And
us
then-
grab it on the way out, since we're not hiring
Like I
Well,
anyone?
Mal-
assumed that
well,
you took
yeah,
it back.
Yeah, Malarai did.
Okay, good.
I mean, Vincent would probably do a few days investigating for free if you gave him that.
Probably. And it's worth quite a freaking bit.
At this point, Raylana, you see that Froon has noticed you go in the Bookworm's Trove, and he kind of like looks your way, and then he turns southward and heads off with his pack slung over his back.
Oh, I'm gonna rush out and talk to him.
He kind of like takes a few quicker steps, but it's easy to catch up to him because he's got kind of a hobbling gait. It's like he has to take 2 steps for every one that you. He goes, "What? You come to rub it in?"
No, I actually. Everyone was shook up from this morning, and what neighbors do is to check and see if they're all right, even if they aren't going to be your neighbor for much longer.
Make a general charisma check.
Yo, what the fuck?
He goes, "Well, that's very kind of you, but I don't think I'm the one who needs checking up on, considering that you finally got your due and all." He spits on the ground. "I knew this would end in bloodshed."
What's your deal with us? I understand the whole competitive businesses thing, but you just seem to have it out for all of us. What's your fucking deal, man? I didn't want to be hostile, or I don't want to be hostile with you at all. But you make it so damn hard to be likable.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
He thinks for a second, and then he turns back and lowers his jowls like he's gonna quit back. He closes his mouth with a snap, and then he goes rummaging through his sack. "Damn interloping, do-gooders, I just." He thrusts something into your hands a moment. You can see a picture of 2 young people with dark hair and large mustaches, fit men, jovial men. They've got like their arms around one another's shoulders. You can tell one of them is clearly Froon in his younger days. He goes, "He was always better at it than I was. Running the business. Said one day we'd have Trollskull Manor for ourselves. Said that it would only take a couple of years and we'd be out of that pit. A couple of years. It turns into a long time. After that plain-touched bastard did him in. You can't trust him. Tieflings. Can't trust a damn one of them." He snatches the portrait out of your hands and thrusts it back into the sack, ties it shut. "Anyway, Vroon's Brews is closed now. For good this time. So you guys, you go about your business. See to it that you can fix that place right up. Seems to come easy to you. I'm not going to bother you anymore. I've got business elsewhere. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a cart to catch."
Alright.
Kind of like shrugs and the sack over his shoulder again and heads south.
Oh, fuck.
He thinks for a second and then he comes back and says, "Here. He thrusts something into your hands. It's a small, round case. And then, without a word, he just turns and leaves.
I'm gonna open the case.
It's the deed to Froon's bruise.
Roll a dex save.
Oh no!
Fireball.
Raylana is dead immediately. Oh.
He gives you the deed to Froon's bruise, and there's a key inside as well to the front door.
Huh. Well, I guess I'm gonna carefully close the case again and just put it in my backpack.
As you come up on Embrick and Avi and follow, they instantly quiet their conversation, and Embrick recognizes you from the day before. He goes, "Ho ho, rat hunter, come closer. It's good to see that you're unsinged."
Yes, it's... I wish I could say the same for the rest of them.
Aye, that is true, that is true. Can't say that I've seen anything of this nature in Trollskull Alley, or save the North Ward. Not in a long time. Right outside our front door, no less.
I've seen my fair share of things, but certainly nothing such as this.
Fala, the elf, goes, Did you
See what?
the metal man, the thing, you know.
No,
I'll speak up. I'll
I
be
was-
like,
I was told about it, but
no,
I didn't see where it went. Oh, you're with me?
yeah, because
Okay.
I didn't go with the other guys.
What do you say?
Okay, alright.
He already said it. That's fine.
I saw it. It was a brightest day, made of hammered metal and wood. I could hear the wood crying out. It was unpleasant, unnatural. It leaped into the alley and took it. It did. The stone, the whispered things. They called to me for but a moment, and then it was gone. East, he went into the rising of the sun. I saw him take it from the gnome, the metal man. Embrick is like, aye, we were just having a discussion about that. Sounds like something I've seen just recently.
You seen something like this recently?
Aye, that I have. I'm a blacksmith boy, and I've connections. The Temple of Gond. They call it the House of Inspired Hands. Wonder if they craft there. Strange things. But just recently, old Valletta, the High Priest, Master Craftsman, she is. She had some new contraption, work in the bellows. Gears for guts and hammer plates for skin it had. Gods. I can't imagine Gon's men and women are involved, but this metal man, it sounds too similar to be a coincidence.
Well, that sounds like some place that we should pay a visit to then.
Do you have any idea how it works? Is it magical?
Just from the description of it, I'd say, hells no. I specialize in weapons and armor and horseshoes and nails, but this, a walking man that can shoot fire from its hands? Nay, that's beyond me. But perhaps Valletta could tell you more.
Perhaps.
We'll have to check it out. Thank you for your time.
If you're still going after those rats, my offer still stands. Silvered weapons for all of you.
Well, I'm not sure if we'd be going after rats just right now.
Ah, rats of a different type, I'd say. These ones made of metal and less of fur.
And some others that are not of this world that we have had recent encounters with. I'm sure you heard the story of what happened at the playhouse.
Aye, word spreads. Devils, I believe it was. Strange things are happening in Waterdeep. It's not been this irate in quite some. Something's going on. Hey, Avi. He kind of like tips his head sideways and brushes it off. I'm not a gossip, he says. And I don't care to involve myself in any of this horrid business of fireballs, murders. No, thank you.
But we have no intention of bringing you into this.
He wanders up and playfully grabs Embrick's arm. He's clearly not strong enough to move him, but Embrick stands up and he says, "Good. I couldn't live with myself if anything happened to dear Embrick here."
Of course, I did, however, want to ask. You wouldn't have anything that could, say, well, be of any assistance toward us? I imagine that well, let's just say that I don't imagine things not getting ugly.
Embrick kind of leans in and says, "And what do you intend to do with it if I did?"
Well, clearly these people seem to be, well, very strong. Perhaps even out of our leagues. But it would be nice to know that we would have something that would protect us all. At least a little better than what we have now.
He goes, I think maybe that I might. Abby goes, "Oh, Embrick, please, you can't be serious." And he goes, "I'll have to dig it out. Come back in a day or so. Give me some time to make sure it's in fitting shape. But it would be good to know that it's seeing use once again." I think perhaps I do.
That would be very much appreciated. Well, while we're at it, you wouldn't happen to have any sort of arms like this. Malarai pulls out some of his, a couple of his darts.
Ha! Darts? What do you take me for? Of course I've got darts. How many do you need?
Well, it'd be nice to be well armed.
Tell
How
you
much?
what,
How much would 15 won me?
if you're going after this thing, proper hunt as it were, you come in and outfit yourself with whatever equipment you need. Darts, swords, armor, anything short of plate mail, and we've got it.
Huh.
And I'll see about getting you some extra protection to boot.
Well, that would certainly be something. Be well appreciated.
Aye, indeed. No one firebombs Trollskull Alley and lives to tell the tale. We stick together, all of us to one. Claps you on the shoulder pretty harshly. It's good to know that we've got you around. I'll miss old Telly.
He was a good man. And
Aye.
a good friend.
That he was. That he was.
Whoever did this, they've just made things personal.
Pissed off the Trollskull troublemakers they did, aye? He looks at you, Gazra.
So they have, and I pull out my mace and kind of like catch it in the other hand.
You flex super hard.
I what? Sorry.
You flex super hard.
Yep.
Flex so hard. She like breaks the sleeves of her armor. Clean off. Avi just kind of like face palms like, oh gods. Make it stop. And Embrick kind of claps you on the shoulders as well. Haha! Yes, a good size. He looks down at his old shoulders. A good size. Come on, Avi. Let's go see if we can pull it out again. And he struts off, looking excited. You can see that the flare of his fiery hair is brighter now than it was before. Fala just kind of watches them go and says, "A dire situation. Most strange. I need to meditate on this."
Of course. Please, be safe.
She goes and like turns around, and then she turns back towards you. She thinks for a second, and then she takes out like a dried like a pewter flask, and it's got some liquid sloshing around inside. She says, "For you, nectar of the everleaf flower."
You have my
Is she-
deepest gratitude. I have no idea what the fuck that is.
All right, so they are kind of doing their thing. I'm gonna take a break here, probably like 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. See you guys soon.
So, things took a pretty emotional turn, yet again.
Yeah. Man, I was really hoping that Renair wasn't gonna beef it, but here we are.
Yep.
Honestly, I feel really bad for not letting him stay here. I mean, honestly, I don't really feel like we would have been much protection to him. Really bad about it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, this campaign I feel like I've been making a lot more choices with more consequences that are bad.
Yeah. This... It's a very different campaign than Tomb of Annihilation. Just a dungeon crawl.
It's supposed to
Yeah,
be. It's like political intrigue and more roleplay heavy.
Yeah. It's really good. It's just a big change.
So when were you people planning on asking about Sax's shit?
Well, I mean, Mallory isn't really planning on it because, like, he knows that there's almost no chance that Sax is actually going to tell him anything.
You might. I was kind of waiting for you guys to do that last week, but I mean, only Raylon has said anything.
yeah, I think it's mostly not in Raylana's character to push too hard on people, because, like, she knows that you've gone through some shit and had, like, a traumatic flashback. But maybe soon.
It's happened twice so far. We'll see if it happens again tonight. Hopefully not, because I'm already at 1 level exhaustion. I want that to go away. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have, like, a team meeting.
About what?
About all our backstory and our bullshit. Like, your dad's in hell, Sax has a lot of stuff going on, my dad's dying.
yeah, I was kind of expecting to need to use the short-term madness table last week. There is something that will trigger it, that will trigger me doing it, but it may not happen.
Honestly, it's a little bit funny that that Malorai's backstory is like the least, I guess the least interesting or traumatic.
You boned another tiefling, that's it.
Yeah, I'm an orphan who is in who's in like a Romeo and Juliet type of relationship, and that's pretty much it. With Iridius, he at least had his parents killed.
Oh, that's fun.
I mean, it's fine to not have like a sad backstory. It's almost a
Yeah.
trope to have a sad backstory.
It's like
No,
the
yeah.
tradition.
Yeah, I get that though.
I kind of refuse to give my character sad backstories because it's more interesting for me to take, like, kind of like a basic kind of character and just, like, see how they're gonna, like, develop into that. Because Raleigh's
I'm
backstory,
kind of the same.
yeah, like, Raleigh's backstory wasn't sad at all. Like, she had a cool mom, and then her dad left her, and then her mom died, and it's like, ah, shit. Now I have a cool Uncle Jack.
Yeah, I don't really. Well, when I was a younger teen, I was really fucking into making these super brooding, super extremely stoic and emotionless characters with extremely sad and torturous backstories.
It's called being an
Shit like
edgelord.
that. Yeah, I know. But like,
Hey, man, I can respect a proper edgelord background.
Oh, me too.
I don't think any of like the
Yeah.
backstories I've thought of currently have actually been, you know, they have an alright life.
yeah. I'm fine with not going for a super edgy or sad backstory, but I mean, I'd do it just as long as it would make for an interesting character and a fun character to play, not just a guy who's super depressed and stoic and brooding all the time.
And I have one backstory where the guy was sold by his father into slavery. That's the paladin. The half-orc paladin.
Nice.
Cool.
You know, the one I used for that one shot we did a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it definitely is something that could and definitely would happen in the D&D universe.
Absolutely.
And then another one, I mean, not as sad, but it's different. The sorcerer who doesn't really know what happened to his family. He was kind of carted away as a really small child and ended up in some other town where he was later ran out of because they hate magic and his like sorcerer powers manifested.
When I make characters, I liked most of the time. Like I do a standard backstory, but my favorite thing to do is to just like instead of a fully sculpted character, I just like pop down a lump of clay in the shape of a class and a race, and I'm like, okay, let's see what this becomes. And then as we play, I'm like, maybe I did do this. Maybe that was in my past, and then I kind of incorporate those. And just like so, it's almost like I'm discovering my own backstory as much as I'm planning it out.
I guess Gildas didn't have a bad backstory. He was just a street urchin
I
that
thought
was given a
Gildas had
second chance at
great
life.
backstory. Did he end up becoming a merchant prince?
Yes.
Yeah, so like that is an idealistic rags to riches story. Like he went off into the jungle, killed a fucking lich. This kid from the street got the
and helped kill a dragon.
Killing blow, and helped kill a dragon.
Wait, did I get the killing blow?
I think you got the killing blow.
I don't know.
No, that was Flint, because it was poetic.
Because I was on the opposite side of the thing from him, and I threw my shadow blade at him.
Oh yeah, you did.
You like triple crit him at the end for like 70 damage.
Yeah, I after Archie died, I crit twice, which was fucking great, by the way.
Revenge crits.
Yes.
I love story nat 20s.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I honestly I hadn't imagined Flint's story being the sort of a exile to king story. And honestly, I really fucking appreciate how you spun his story. Well, how you helped to spin his story.
I liked how everybody turned out in Tomb of Night. I started out thinking we were going to chew through characters, and then like by 3/4 of the way through, you guys were pretty clearly gunning for the end and doing really great. So I was like, I think this just became a story-based campaign.
This character was the character I went in with was like a throwaway character, pretty much.
Just goes to show.
And he fucking survived, which surprised me. Like, fuck yeah.
I'm surprised I survived after like the first session I was with you guys when I decided to use Shatter in a tumbling tower.
In freaking Firefinger.
Yep.
Oh, that was so much fun.
This is definitely a different beast of a campaign. I'm kind of getting used to it. This is a hard campaign for me to run.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting used to it.
It's probably really hard because I don't know what kind of direction there is on the back end of things, but it's so open-ended, you don't know what to fucking do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's honestly one of my main struggles with this campaign, but I'm getting accustomed to it.
It's hard for me to. I'm trying to think of a way. Like, I get you guys can go out into the city and do whatever the hell you want, but it's difficult to sort of coalesce all the random possibilities of Waterdeep into thorough, thought-out encounters. You know, like,
Yeah.
here's the city. You guys can make up where you go and what. But it's nice to actually like have goals too, and so trying to make sure that there are goals is difficult.
I mean,
It's
I think I have a lead that I could go by, but we haven't really had a chance to do anything with it.
Yeah,
yet.
But to be fair, like, this is the chapter that you guys are in now in which things start to pick up too.
Oh god. My
Chapter
players,
2 of Dragon Heist is a super open-ended.
My players are in Chapter 3 of Storm King's Thunder, and that is the open-ended section. They can fucking go anywhere.
Yes. So the goal of... It's not too meta to point out that the goal of Chapter 2 is to get your tavern running. To, like, ingratiate yourself with the factions. And to just kind of, like, discover your characters a little bit. And you guys did that.
Yeah. The only thing is, we are small fry in the bigger scheme of things, which is crazy.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're on the hunt for this robotic thing.
I feel like the biggest whiplash for me is being in a situation where I mean, I'm not looking to fight everything, but it's kind of concerning when I'm faced with enemies that we quite clearly would not be able to face, like, at all.
Oh yeah, I totally know what you mean. There was the knight, the guy who was making the deal, and then there was the Zentarum hitman, and that's kind of like that's more of like a. Never mind. I have no way of putting this without spoiling.
You don't know how to... Oh, okay.
So anyway, I guess let's take stock of where we are now. You guys are in Trollskull Alley. You've kind of, like, investigated this strange fireball event. You've got some leads. You also have, like, personal character concerns that are beginning to coalesce into greater problems as well. You have some allies through the city. You know of several threats as well that you have both tried to tackle and tackled successfully. What are you guys doing as a party right now? Like, what are your plans moving forward from this fireball that's shaking up your world?
Since Mallory was the guy that talked to that one guy that Rishal described as having been with the fucking Zentarum.
Right.
I was gonna ask him if he caught his name.
Ask the Dragonborn?
No, ask at Mallory, because potentially Mallory didn't realize. And also, since we learned...
So you're trying to bridge the gap between those two moments in time,
and
right?
since we learned that this guy was in Tarim.
I see. So what's that conversation look like?
Okay, so I just want to be sure 100% about what you were asking.
All right. I'll try to do this then. When we're all, like, switch-weighted back together and stuff.
Yeah. Were you
Malarai.
basically like... Oh, sorry. Yes?
Did you happen to catch the name of that guy that you talked to? Like the silver-haired dude?
I believe I may have heard it. Did Mallory hear it? Because I think would have. I think the man did say his name.
He told you straight off that his name was Erstal Flock. Kind of like a bit shaken up by the fireball at that point.
Bristol Flax?
Erstal Floxen.
Oh, okay. His name was Ersto Flaxen. Though the name doesn't necessarily ring a bell.
Well, after talking to Rishaw, we learned that he was with those cloaked guys. He was one of the ones chasing Renair. And if that name is correct, I believe the guard were looking for him as well.
Well, as for the mechanical man we had heard about, I heard that he moved to the east.
Gazra, can you make me a history check real quick?
Yep.
Nice.
Nice. So, as they mention and describe the thing in detail, the Metal Man, like it's starting to dawn on you that you've heard of something like this before. In weeks past, in the Sea Ward, maybe like a block from where you live, there is an estate of a man named Lord Corin Deslentir. He's got a daughter who's about your age. I don't know if you know her or not. She's a fabled duelist. They've recently come into possession of one of these strange mechanical things. To hear it, you're unsure of the similarities beyond that. But you do know that they recently acquired one as well.
Can you write down the name?
Yes.
Okay, I'll assume that I have like met Hermione in passing, but haven't really hung out with her. But I will kind of pass that along and be like, I don't know if that's the same one or if it's similar. I'm sure they could probably give us some good information.
So this Lord Corin, does Lenter potentially has a lead, or we have a lead potentially for this? Asking out a character. For my notes. This person might own that thing?
Or something similar.
And how does his daughter in this equation?
She's not really.
Oh.
It's mostly him.
He bought it so that she could practice dueling with it.
Oh, that does sound like our boy.
Well, we could go ask if it's gone missing or anything.
Yeah, I second that.
Okay, so that's item 1. What else do we have to do?
Well, if possible leads, I mean, That seems pretty important for the time being.
At some point, I have to go talk to my family. They have to know what's going on.
Yeah. The only lead that I have for like Xanathar stuff out of character is where is it? The old Zoblob knows the way. Cryptic message that I had picked up while you guys were out on your drunken bender.
Ah, yes. I remember it well.
Do you?
Not
That's
really.
the joke. That's the joke.
She remembers almost getting married.
I remember almost getting married. I remember the yawning portal. I remember, I don't know, walking through the misty shores. That's what Raylana remembers.
I remember we got in a fight with a guy, and I'm still not sure if he lived through it. So that's kind of concerning.
I feel like you may have killed a man, Gazra.
I just grimace. Like, that's not good.
Okay, so what should our characters do now? Like, should we go out to see Lord Corin Tislenter and ask about that first, or should we tackle Gazra's dad thing first?
I think
The
Just
dad
tackle
news.
my father.
I think telling Gosra's family about the issue is more
Hell to
important.
Yes.
It's
okay.
good news to get out of the way.
That is true.
In our potential story hook to Descent into Avernus.
I would like to go to hell. Out of character, obviously. But that would be a fun little plot adventure.
We would die.
You don't know that.
In our current state, we would, but
Oh, 100%, but not if we were like level 10 or something.
I don't know if my dad would live long enough for us to be level 10.
and we hit that pretty quick in Tomb Annihilation, to be fair.
Yeah, you guys rock.
We did that for
Okay.
like, it was 2 months in game time, give or take?
So, am I correct in assuming that you guys all head off to go to Gozra's home in the Sea Ward?
Sure.
Seems to
Sure,
be the
let's do it.
consensus.
Yeah, I think so.
Find my push to talk about. Okay, so as you guys come upon the large iron gates of Gosra's Manor, you can see that the curtains have all been drawn, and no light is visible inside. It's about midday, so that's to be expected. The grass is a bit overgrown. Gosra, you haven't been home in a couple weeks, and it's not particularly mal kept, but it does look like it's been left to seed just slightly.
I get a little more worried. And I pick up the pace a bit.
You march up to the door and knock, but there is no response.
Is it locked? Do I know of like a secret key, or do I have a key?
I think you probably know of a secret way in. Maybe there's like a hole several feet down in the well that leads to a small secret tunnel. An old thing. But yeah, the doors are locked.
Will I fit in this hole?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like the exit of a secret path.
Secret tunnel!
Secret
Secret
tunnel.
tunnel.
What is that from?
Avatar
It's from what?
The Last Airbender.
Why the hell do I know it then? I never watched it.
It's a meme.
It's also because Day and I reference it every time, like a secret
Maybe.
tunnel is mentioned.
Maybe that's it.
But yes, we will enter a secret tunnel.
So your tunnel goes through and comes out in the wine cellar underneath your. Inside, you get the distinct sense that something is wrong here.
Oh, I already had that.
It's not so much like a where is everybody sense. It's like there is something here, kind of.
I will unsheathe my weapon. And we'll continue upstairs, I suppose.
So, making your way past large vats of many centuries old, you move up from the lower cellar into like the basement area where foodstuffs are stored, and large crates of supplies are kept there. And it's here that you hear something muttering towards the back of the room. It's let's see, do you understand Infernal?
Just a sec. I do.
So yes, it's talking in Infernal. It's saying, he's gone, he's gone. But feel him still, we do. The old fool. And the young one. The voice goes quiet for a second. And then something kind of pads against the floor. And you hear the scratching of claws. Something approaches from a large stack of boxes. You see a large hand kind of like reach out as it goes and scratch a gouge into the wall. I smell you, hunter. The stench of your father lingers about you yet. You are a fool to return to this place.
I'll raise my mace above my head and scream, "Get out of my house!" And I'll like rush to try and swing at.
Okay.
What does this thing look like?
You guys have not seen it yet.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing we all shut up, though.
Way to roll a 2.
Get the turn tracker open. Can you guys add yourselves on there?
If I put myself on this map, I can.
Yeah, go ahead and drag yourselves out to just the map anywhere.
Make sure that's with a disadvantage. It is not. I'm gonna roll that again.
You know,
Oh
rolling a
my
nat
God.
1 for your initiative isn't that bad.
Okay, I have a 17. Let me fix this. Nope. Oh, that's fine. There we go.
Oh, nice. Okay, then.
Okay.
Scotra's right way south.
Oh yeah, you're in the docks, bud.
It's just where my map was.
Oh, okay, that's what this is.
Zilmai. All right, so as Gazra rushes around the corner, you heft your mace, and this thing comes leaping up and over the crates of boxes. You can see it's this small, pallid-skinned devil creature with thorns sticking out of a long tail and jagged pieces of chitinous flesh coming off his shoulders and his arms that begin writhing as he flexes his arms towards you. So he sees you screaming towards him with the mace at the ready. He hisses back at you and says, "Fool, you will accomplish nothing except to die here." And then he rushes into the fray. Zomaya, coming up behind, hears the sound and sees the creature leap up to the tops of the boxes before anybody else acts. He gets to do what he's going to do. What does he do?
So, Bree, what does Zil do?
Just give me 1 second. I didn't have. I thought I had a Zill's sheet up, but I didn't. Zill would probably attempt a hideous laughter on this thing.
He's got to make a wisdom saving throw. He rolls an 11. He fails.
Yeah.
So this creature just tumbles off the boxes. You will die here. You will die. He rolls to the ground, laughing hideously. So let's see. Incapacitated, unable to stand. Cool. Okay, he's out of action for the time being. Grace is up next. You see this creature tumble to the floor, its spine scraping along the wood of the boxes and leaving gouges in the cobblestones.
But it didn't have any marks, like any symbols or marks on it to identify, like, is it like fucking Xanathar or
It's probably
something
not
like that?
faction related.
No, it doesn't have any marks of the Xanathos Guild or any other guild that you can see.
Okay. Malarai will walk over and plunge his Tonto into the thing's chest.
Okay. You have advantage because he's. I think it's actually a crit.
Being a crit from laughter, he seems a little too much, to be honest.
No, I'm just checking the incapacitated condition.
Yeah, I think
it's
just,
not.
You just don't get reactions and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think so.
An incapacitator can't take can't take actions or reactions. It is prone, so you have advantage with a 20. That is. So you jam the Tonto down toward its bare stomach.
Don't forget.
And the blade kind of like catches
no,
on
it
its
is
hide.
sneak attack.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
You have advantage. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the condition.
It does get to make another save, though, with advantage, because it got damaged.
Yeah, that's true. I'll do that now while you roll your sneak attack. Oh, you did roll sneak attack. Okay. So yeah, you slam the dagger down, but it doesn't pierce through its hide. It kind of like sticks and bounces, and you push as hard as you can, and the blade just barely manages to kind of like tick through its hide and draw a little bit of this black ooze-like substance that seems to function for its blood. The thing still laughs. And then it turns at you as its laughter stops and says, "Your pathetic weapons are useless against the Inferno."
Mulleray is going to disengage and hop back about 15 feet.
Okay. Sax, you're up. He rolls a 19 for his save, so unfortunately the spell fade.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he doesn't stand up yet. But
No, but let's see.
he's no longer laughing maniacally.
Yeah, he still has disadvantage for spellcasters, unfortunately, but... Alright, I'm gonna regret this. You know why? This is a Barb Devil, and odds are, I'm gonna take some damage from this. I'm gonna hit him with an unarmed strike. And as my main attack action to activate my agile parry. $18 to hit.
That is a hit.
For like 3 damage.
Yeah.
And do I take any damage from hitting him?
No, you don't. He tries
Okay.
to spine you as you come in for the attack, but you move in and slam your knee down into his face, and then leap back before he can swipe out and get you.
I'm gonna take flurry of blows. Wow,
Oh man!
that one hits though.
Yikes on bikes.
He just rolls out of the way as you whiff, and then by the time he's finally pushing to his feet, you spin around and slam your boot into the side of his head.
4 damage.
4 damage. Meanwhile, Raylana comes up from behind as Sax leaps away.
Magic missile.
Magic missile.
Magic missile.
And I do it 3 times.
I've just been kind of flavoring your magic missile spells as lightning instead, because that's
Oh yeah,
you get
100%.
the
Because the
blood
storm
of
giant.
storm giants in your... So you just like raise your hand up to the sky and it crackles with lightning that kind of courses down your arm. Your eyes
and then
turn
I
blue.
point at him, and then it just flies out.
3 blasts. 4, 6.
We could really
8
use those
damage.
silvered weapons right about now.
Yeah.
Alright, that's my turn.
Okay.
We should
He
definitely
cries out
stop by
as
the...
he steps back and is staggered by your attack. He's stands up, and black flame coalesces around his hands, and he mutters and then, burn eternal, and then he lobs fire at Gazra twice. 14 and an 18.
18 hits.
So you take 8 fire damage.
Okay.
For a second, the flames linger, but they can't find purchase on your metal gear, and they just peter out. And you're up.
Because my metal gear is solid.
Yeah, you have some solid metal gear.
God damn, thank you.
Damn, that was the best assisted pun ever.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I'm going to... What's that thing? My
Your
channel
father.
divinity.
Your father whispers to you, Gazra, Gazra, Gazra!
Oh my fucking god.
Alright, so yeah, you weaken the spawn. This guy's chitinous hide cracks, and you can see black lines of fire coursing over his spines and around his flesh, wrapped around him like a net of fury. They open into weakened gap, looking down into what looks like the pits of hell itself underneath his fleshy hide. I don't even know what the hell the icon is for this, but we'll go with that one. Okay.
Yeah, other than movement, that's all I've got.
So as you weaken the spawn, he cries out, "You, no, it cannot be. You're like him." Back around to Zilmaya.
Zill is going to fluff himself up and make his feathers stand on end to look like spikes, and cast Vicious Mockery.
He rolls a 3.
Yeah!
His spines, they're not puffed up as big as Zill. He finds this offensive. He just snarls. His lip crinkles upward. Alright, back around to Grace.
Grace is going to hop around to flank this guy.
Okay.
And will slash at him with his Tonto, and then stab at him with his dagger. Or, nah, he'll just slash at him.
Okay.
Oof. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
then!
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Sneak attack too.
You do it in
Bam.
Arya Star. You like go to stab him, and he grabs your arm, and you just drop the blade into your other hand, and then stab it into his neck.
27. That's a fuck ton.
And the thing is, though, there's like this deep gap in his neck, so like you jam the blade hilt deep into it, and black fire begins pouring out of the wound. Zax, you're up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna disengage and just do a couple backflips to get some ground away from him.
Okay. Grace is graceful.
I'm going to do something that is totally out of character for Sax. I'm going to use the Kobold ability that I would never use otherwise. Well, first
only
I'm gonna
against Xanathars.
I would never use against Xanathars.
Never,
No way.
never for a Xanathar. The other
Never
things,
against a
just
Xanathar.
tactics.
For here, it's tactics, yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first bonus action, patient defense, with my key, and then for my action, I'm gonna act like I'm scared of this thing.
God, no.
So everyone will have an advantage on him until my next turn.
I can't fucking believe that this is an actual kobold racial trait.
Oh
So
yeah.
what do you say when
God.
you grovel?
Fuck. I'm just gonna do circles around him. And it's really fast because I'm a monk.
So you see him, he's tracking you now. The pathetic creature realizes its inferiority. You will be put out of your misery soon.
Dude, that's my dodge.
Gotcha. Raylana, you see this thing look away for a second as it tracks Sax as he dances around.
Cool, I'm gonna do a Ray of Frost.
Okay.
And that,
20's it.
ooh, hell yeah.
Bam.
8 cold damage.
Very nice. Alright, so the cold smashes into his back and crackles up his arms, and several of his spines break off and shatter against the floor. As he's knocked forward, he turns to swipe out at Sax. You can see his movement is inhibited as the ice is almost locking him in place.
Right, I don't have Agile Pyre, so 17 is my AC.
Sax, make me a persuasion check, just for the general situation.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
All right, so he does see you. He looks at you and he lashes out with his large tail. Your dodge saves you, smashes into a box, and then he turns his attention towards Gazra and lunges towards her. You can take an attack of opportunity. So he moves out of range to meet you mid-stride.
This is normal.
How does it feel to know all of your friends will die before you?
That's a good Gildas roll, actually.
How does it feel to know? Oh, God.
Fucking 2 crits in a row.
Not in
So-
a row, but damn, that's so good.
Saxy
Well,
like dodges
two melee
to the
crits in a
side of
row.
his tail and then like climb up his spines and jam your short sword into his back as he swipes out with his claws twice towards Gazra. 13 and a 25 for 4 slashing damage.
But he's moved out of my thing, though. So I think my thing's
that's
not active anymore.
I'd say, yeah, he's still within 10 feet.
Okay, good.
Nice.
As long as that's still active.
We're gonna guiding bolt.
Regular because he's at a melee.
Yeah, so he's moved
They should
into
have
melee
advantage.
with you, Gazra,
Oh,
which is still a hit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that whole thing.
yeah.
Okay, so first thing is that he is lit up like a Christmas tree.
Woohoo!
That was such a great roll. I love.
Is that max damage?
No, but it's still decent.
All right, so your bolt of black energy coalesces in the center of your hand as you hold it out, and very quietly, you hear a whisper in the back of your mind say to you, "He is beneath you. Send him back. Free this tortured creature's spirit. Return him to the cycle." You release it, and the bolt pierces straight through this devil's chest and comes out the other side, and his eyes widen. And at this point, you see his cocksure attitude transform into one of fear as he falls to his back, Sax still dancing around him. He goes, "Oh, no. The master must know." Zilmai is next.
Zill is just going to hold their dagger in front of him and just charge at this guy.
All right.
Advantage to hit, still.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't going nowhere.
And
Oh, yes.
bam!
Oh,
Yes.
hell yeah.
Nice. All right.
AG
So,
Barb.
magically toxic blades. All right, he's got that. Okay, so roll an extra 2d6 and damage for both of his daggers.
Well, that was just a 1, I think.
Yeah. It was just the
That was
one
a
dagger
D4.
attack. Yeah,
The
that
second
was
one-
that was for the dagger.
His second one is
Oh.
just a d4.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh,
No, that
tasty.
was the roll for advantage.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you jam both of your daggers down into the back of this thing's neck.
Oh, and I was gonna roll for the second dagger anyway. So
Okay, go ahead. That's hit.
okay.
That's an extra d4. He doesn't get his dex bonus on that one.
Yeah, so that's 3.
3. Nice. You can see the creature coming apart now. The black flame is dripping from him and cascading to the floor, leaving these horrendous scorch marks where it touches. Grace, you're up.
Grace will do little parkour off of a wall, and then will come down with his come down with his sword.
Okay.
Still advantage because of my thing.
Yeah.
Your first attack hit.
Okay. That was just for advantage.
Yep.
Sneak attack
Hey.
again.
All right. So how do you want to do this?
Hey.
Oh, hell yeah.
Malarai is going to jump up on this thing's back, very careful of his footing because fucking barbed devil. He will jam his Tonto into one side. He'll come with his foot to the thing's to the back of this thing's neck, grab him by the face, pull his head up, and just dig his Tonto through the thing's neck.
Nice. So you
And
rip
then
your
I'll back
Tonto
flip off
up
it.
the side of his neck, and the head goes limp as the creature falls. You can hear a strange, almost wicked laughter. Welcome. He goes limp on the floor, and the blood bubbles against the cobblestone. And through it, this like pink jelly-like creature begins pushing its way through. You can see the black blood turn to red. The cobblestones begin to almost melt away as if they're touched with it. And looking down, you can see 24 of these, like, it looks like chewed bubblegum. These creatures, I think, Gazer, you'd probably recognize them as, like, they're kind of like, they're rare in this world, but you know that they are, like, very basic devil. They are, like, tortured spirits that have been trapped in hell and enslaved by devils for whatever purposes.
Okay. Do I know if they can be stepped on to die?
They're medium-sized creatures, but yeah, you can stomp them in the... So you like smash one with your boot and it falls back, and another one like grabs your ankle, and then as soon as like one of them has a hold of you, the other ones kind of like bubble up, and their gooey bodies wrap themselves around your waists. I need everybody to make me a strength saving throw.
Everybody?
Is
Okay.
it with advantage?
I'm gonna... Shit, since I...
Uh-oh. That one,
That was supposed to be normal, but I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay.
that one was Zomaya's.
Great, it was worse.
Okay, Malarai actually had a good strength saving.
So, Malarai, as these creatures wrap themselves around the entire group, you see them kind of like converge and begin dragging people down through Gazra's floor. This swirling black portal, this thing made of this creature's blood, draws your friends in. And Gazra, you're right on the edge trying to hold out against them, but more and more come and they like wrap hands around your shoulders. Grace has hands on Zomaya, and at the last second, he slips. His hands fall free of yours, and you're knocked back out of the room. Or not out of the room, but against the wall, as your friends are dragged out of the room through the floor.
Can I see where the portal goes, or is it just black?
Yeah, so like falling through the portal, you can look down and see like it's this World War Z style pile of these pink-like corpses with other devils climbing up the sides of it. And this hole that you've fallen through is like maybe a few thousand feet in the air. And your friends are like gathered around. As soon as you enter the depths of this portal, you're in another world. Like you're falling through the sky into this strange, hellish landscape.
Wait, I've gone through?
Yes, you've fallen through. You've been pulled through, rather. And it's like, as soon as you're pulled through, the creatures let go and just tumble into a free. The skies around you erupt with a fury of hellfire that cascades down as much as the rest of your companions do. Showers of like hellish fire. And around you, there's creatures like riding these demonic horses. You see something.
Not good.
You see something spread its wings and take to the air. And there is like a very faint glow shimmering at the like in this creature's hand as it soars up towards you.
Is it a Balrog? Is it a flaming whip?
No. But it does have a whip at its. So the first thing is like you feel a presence in your mind. And you feel almost safe. There is a feeling of like finality almost. And you know that like wherever she is now, the Raven Queen is also with you. And you don't recognize the creature as it soars towards you. But you recognize the sword it's carrying as your great-grandfather Gabriel's blade. It is a long-lost heirloom of your family. Of all of his treasures, no one's been able to reclaim it for an age. And as this winged creature soars toward him, hellfire brimming at the sides of her eyes, she slams into you. She's probably like almost 3 times your size. You're not spiraling through the air. The rest of you, you go soaring towards the ground at breakneck speed.
Wait, can I cast Featherfall on us?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I do that immediately.
All right. So.
And everybody's there except for me.
Yeah, you are like trapped in the room, and as soon as they fall through, the portal closes.
Shit, okay.
Oh, good.
This being spreads her wings after slamming into you and sort of postures in the air. She does like a twirling like swoosh and comes to rest, the wings lobbing the air in front of you, and says, "You dare exist, mortal. Even now, and despite it all, I must still contend with you and your wretched kind. I will not suffer this again." And then she screeches out in an unearthly scream, "I will not suffer this again!" And she soars towards you with black flames roiling off of her body and plunges the sword clean through your chest. And it just comes out the other side and blink for a second. You look down, and she looks down. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. And she instantly realizes something that you don't and says, "No! No!" And screams out the top of her lungs, clearly angry. And then darkness and silence over. At this point, the rest of you begin to feel, and the featherfall becomes something of like a comforting lull as you all drift downwards towards hell. You can see the creatures reaching for your bodies, hungry to tear into you to get at whatever soul hides beneath your earthly flesh. and then darkness overtakes you as well. And you are all standing in a field of strange flowers. They look like orchids, maybe, or poppy, but they're all they're bright white. And in the distance, you can see a pearlescent tower with a light glimmering atop it in an almost surreal twilight. There's mountains in the background. And as you blink your way out of a stupor, you all realize that you're standing around Gazra, and Gazra, the sword, is still sticking out of your chest. It's just stuck there through where your heart would be, but it's not causing you any harm. The poppies themselves are slowly, about a minute at a time, going through a cycle of growing up from the ground, withering, dying, and then falling back into the earth, only to grow again.
Can I try and grab the sword?
Yeah. So, as you put your hand on it, a second hand kind of materializes right next to you, a gauntleted hand, and it puts its hand on the haft of the blade as well. You can see that, like, you almost didn't notice him before, but now this creature standing next to you feels almost as if he's wearing a helmet over his face, plate mail armor. And you can see the symbol of the Raven Queen etched into his breastplate.
Gabriel? I'll say out loud.
He raises his visor, and you can see the visage of your great-grandfather there. Similar to the cycle of the flowers, like, as soon as you spot it, he looks at peace, but it begins sinking in and withering away, and eventually the flesh kind of flakes off to reveal a barren skull. And then it seems to almost reverse itself as the flesh grows up and around his head once more. Eyes materialize in his dark sockets. Facial hair grows, and he's like a very handsome, middle-aged man again. And then the process just begins to repeat itself over and over and over again. He says to you, "You must save him."
I know. That's why I came.
Must be worthy. You must summon the army.
What army? Where? Where do I find them?
Call, and they will come, as they have in eons past. They have been scattered, but now the need is dire. Show the symbol. You must save us, Khosra. And he begins to pull the sword out of your chest.
Does it hurt, or am I fine?
It hurts a little bit, but it doesn't do any harm. And as the blade leaves your armor and your chest, he kind of relinquishes the grip on the shaft and kind of like leaves it lingering in your hands. He says, "Summon them from the corners of the earth. Bring them. There will be a war. I can can do nothing here. No. But maybe. Find your father, Cosmo. Prove yourself.
I will. You can count on me.
He kind of like, he glances up towards a starry sky as you say that, and turns and takes a few steps towards the tower, and then he is slowly, like, a stiff breeze blows his body away, and it decomposes into a cloud of black, and they scatter across the field of flowers.
Can I see the rest of the party?
The rest of you, like, looking on, you see the visage of a woman draped in black clothing with a white veil that's attached to her head with an immensely tall silver crown. It's probably the most beautiful woman that you've ever seen. Even, for you, Sax, not being a human being, you wouldn't think you'd be attracted to one, but there's this unearthly beauty about her. You see her point her hand towards Gazra's chest and draw it back to pull a blade out of it, and then she gently places it in her hand. And then the world slowly goes dark as you feel that same sleepiness overcome you. Back in the world of the living, Mallory, like, you stumble against the back wall, you see the portal close, and you're like, no, and you rush forward, and, like, as soon as you begin to pat the ground and feel the cobblestones, you see it close up. You turn around in desperation, and everyone is just kind of, like, there behind you, slumped against the wall where you struck the wood. Gazra has a sword in her hand, glowing almost like a bright blue. It's a faint glow, but you can tell it's clearly a magical weapon. It's a very ancient-looking longsword from a time long lost. Everyone slowly regains consciousness.
Is the devil still there?
The devil's mostly, like, bubbled away into, like, saltpeter and basic materials and black tarish blood that was used to form whatever this portal.
Aw. I wanted to grab some of his spines, just to keep my dark reserves up.
It was fun. A little quick trip to the Raven Queen's domain.
The hell was that?
Oh, that was dope.
That was literally hell.
Yeah, so we're still in my house, right?
Yes.
I'll continue going upstairs and I'll start calling for my family members.
There doesn't appear to be anybody there until you get to your sister's workshop in the library. You find a note that's been, like, tacked to the desk. It says simply, "Dear sister, we've had an incursion. We held them off as long as possible. We've gone to stay at the temple. Everyone is safe. We sent someone around to find you, but there was no one at the tavern. If you get this message, meet us at the temple. Signed, your sister."
Okay, I'll take the note. I'll fold it up and, like, tuck it into my bag.
You notice by the time you get back to the party that the blue glow in the blade has ebbed, and the metal is like an obsidian-like black. It looks almost like crystallized stone.
Did you say there was any sort of like etching on it, or?
It's etched with the symbol of your great-grandfather.
I kind of trace it with my thumb, and then I'll sheath it on my back. But the house appears to be empty of other demons as well.
As far as you can tell, and you're not quite sure that if this one devil was the incursion that your sister was talking about. But from the look of it, all seems fine.
Well, I'll turn to the rest of the party and I'll be like, my family said that they were leaving to go stay at the temple. Who wants to come?
Yeah, no, I'll come with you, of course.
I think that's going on. I think it may be a good idea to stop by our blacksmith friends way there. They say that they can provide us silvered weapons.
That might be on the way back.
Do we have the funds for that?
The blacksmiths in Trollskull Alley will silver 1 weapon apiece for you guys.
Well, Embrick will.
Embrick
Avi's
will, yeah.
very against it.
Yeah. He's thinking about the cost of doing it, and he's like totally against it. But Embrick is very neighborly.
Because that's 100 gold apiece.
Oof.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Unfortunately, my punches aren't magical yet. Actually,
Not
at
yet.
level 6, even my Kensei weapons become magical. Being
Oh,
either
yeah.
silvered or not.
Just get your fist silver.
Just give him some silvered knuckles.
Just dip it right into a pot of molten silver. This'll work. Let it dry, and there you
Take
go.
10d10 fire damage.
He just dies of shock because his
Yeah, pretty much.
silver's on him.
This is a good idea.
All right. I think we're gonna end the session there. We got about 20 minutes until we usually do, but this seems like a pretty good stopping point.
That was
Yeah.
such a good
Yeah,
scene, Jake.
Jesus.
Thanks.
So, okay, I didn't see the same things they did. Like, they saw all the bodies and I didn't.
So, like, the Raven Queen basically appeared as your great-great-grandfather Gabriel, essentially.
But I did see, like, the pits of bubblegum
Yeah,
people.
all of you can remember that clearly. Bubblegum people is a good way of putting it. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Lemur.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I was trying to... I liked figuring shit out.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of meta, but
I
I
had
had to know what it is.
I had no idea that lemurs were that evil.
Not lemurs.
Yes, I know, that's the
Lemures.
Lemoir.
memoir?
Who cares? They're a weird devil thing.
Alright, well, I think I'm
And-
gonna...
To be perfectly honest, this is kind of a lead into the Avernus thing, the Hell campaign. But I have no idea how that story goes.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I
hopefully-
just said it as a joke, thinking, oh, yeah, that might be a thing. Okay.
So like, I'm like, Dragon Heist is a campaign about getting a shit ton of money. So I'm kind of like on the DL trying to give everybody a reason to need a shit ton of money. And I'm doing kind of a poor job of it right now. But if Gazra like needs to summon and lead an army, that's gonna cost a shit ton of money. That's kind of where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
Very
unless
much
you know
so.
the freaking Waterdeep Guard come. We're claiming this money in the name of the Master
Oh, yeah.
Lords.
There's gonna be a bunch of bullshit that you guys have to go through at the end.
If that happens, Malarai is just gonna want to go like fuck off and run away with his share of the money. He'd run away with his share of the money with Iridius.
Like, I don't know if we're gonna actually play that campaign, but figured I'd seed it at some
Yeah.
point.
Well, I think I'm gonna hit the hay. I've got Warhammer tomorrow.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Done. Well, thank you all
Alright.
so much for joining us
Well,
tonight. We
I'll catch
appreciate
y'all
it.
on the flippity flop.
We'll see you next time. Good night,
And
everyone.
Kylie, we definitely have to talk about